Last night from John B. Sawyer Field in Snellville, the Newton Rams locked horns with the South Gwinnett Comets in one of the best and most hard-fought nail-biters in recent memory. The Rams turned on the heroics late in the game. In the 6th inning, with the hometown Comets up 9-5 and only 5 outs away from victory, Matt Easterday crushed one and turned the tide.
Offering from Collins. Here it comes. Swing it along with a deep left center field. That ball might go. Adios, Matt Easterday! And a 3-run job. And Easterday has put the Rams right back in the ball game.
The Comets changed pitchers, but it made no difference to Lane Floyd, who launched a ball deep into the black of the Snellville night.
Here's the 2-1 offering to Lane. There it goes! Adios if it's there, and it is! Farewell home run!
Jeremy Johnson retired the Comets in the 6th and 7th, setting up Floyd again with a man on in the 8th, and Lane Floyd drove the dagger into the hearts of Comet fans.
Swing it along one, and the Rams lead. Get out of here, adios! Lane Floyd does it again, and holy cow, he's on fire!
Even Bradley Dobbs got into the act, giving the Rams some insurance in the 8th.
Swing it along one, that ball might get out of here. Back in, see you later, adios! Bradley Dobbs steps into one and drives it deep to left center field.
And Jeremy Johnson drove the final nail in the South Gwinnett coffin, sealing the win by retiring the Comets without a hit in the bottom of the 8th.
Waits. Here's the pitch. Swinging a shot to Smitty. He'll glove. Toss to Easterday, and that's the winner! That's the winner, the Newton Rams!
Now 1 win away from playing in a region championship, 1 win away from the state tournament, 1 win away from the seniors' 4th straight 20-win season, the Newton Rams are locked in and ready for battle. Newton Ram Baseball with Kevin Holden and Bill Dolan is next on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430.
And tonight's opponent for the Newton Rams will be the Generals of Shiloh High School, having just defeated the Comets of South Gwinnett by a score of 10-7. Welcome to Newton Ram Baseball. The Rams 1 win away from capturing the championship of this sub-region 8-Quad A tournament from South Gwinnett High School. I'm Kevin Holden. Bill Dolan is to my right. He'll be doing color analysis. Bill, of course, that's provided we're able to get a game in tonight here. We're almost an hour late getting underway due to inclement weather. The first game between South Gwinnett and Shiloh starting a little bit late, probably about 30 minutes late. Of course, that sort of kind of a long affair with 17 runs scored between the two teams, and the rain is coming down yet again.
Yes, it is, Kevin Holden, and it is pouring. And as you mentioned a moment ago, it's coming in, it's blowing across the field. And look out at Coach Brassfield's blue warm-up jacket. It is soaked already. They're having a long discussion out with the umpires right now, and have to wonder if there's any chance to get this thing underway at all.
Remember that if these two teams cannot play today, they will more than likely play what would either be a single-header or a doubleheader Monday, depending on who wins that first game. Here is the situation. The Shiloh Generals have 1 loss so far in this tournament, that coming at the hands of South Gwinnett Comets. The Newton Rams undefeated so far in the first 2 games of this tournament. So if the Rams win this first game, then they will become tournament champions, and the tournament will stop there. If Shiloh wins, they'll get a chance to play again. So the Rams have really nothing to lose, but everything to gain here. If you win, it's over with. If you lose, you're not out.
Same regard, though, Shiloh would probably love the rain to come there, but have completed by a number of games in a short amount of time. And in fact, having dealt with Shiloh in the past, they're kind of the masters of the solvent they need.
This is their 4th game in 3 days that they have played, so maybe a little bit of stalling taking place here. And of course, it will take 4 full innings for this to become an official game. So we'll see if we can make it that far tonight. We've got, as we mentioned, rain blowing from left to right field. The wind is also blowing out that way. Lots of home runs in the first game, which, by the way, won by the Generals. They knocked the South Gwinnett Comets out of the tournament. And last night, Newton against South Gwinnett, an extra inning game, 14-9 win by the Rams. And Newton really coming on strong with the momentum and looking impressive with the bats. Again, 2nd straight night after struggling so much in the second half of play. We've got 6 home runs now in 2 games from the Rams, 4 of which came last night.
Well, Kevin, we worried a little bit coming into the playoffs because the Rams had gone so dormant. A couple of games hit 3 hits, no more than 4 hits. In fact, the last, half dozen games, they really struggled at the plate, and suddenly Thursday night, they really broke out of it. Last night continued the onslaught as they pounded out 18 hits, 14 runs, including, like I said, 4 home runs. And there's a young man that catches for the Newton Rams by the name of Lane Floyd, who is simply on fire. In the 2 games in the playoffs so far, he is 6 for 8, 15 total bases. And as you calculate, that comes to a plug percentage of 1875. Unbelievable. He has driven in 8 runs in the 2 games with 3 home runs and has done a curve job behind the plate, blocking pitch after pitch, and getting away, making good strong throws, and just playing unbelievably. I asked him last night how well he was seeing the ball. He said it looks like a basketball right now as it comes across the plate. He's hitting.
And a lot of Rams hitting the ball very well right now as we take a look at the tournament averages for the team. Jarvis Johnson hitting 429, both Brandon Smith and Ryan Boone hitting 571, Floyd hitting at that 750 clip. Bradley Dobbs, one of the surprises, Bill, hitting 500. He hit a home run last night in only his 3rd varsity baseball game.
Really doing a good job. Plus, he's also had a base on balls, driven a couple runs with that home run. That home run was not a cheap left center field. Coming up to the sophomore, and Coach Brassfield showing a lot of confidence in him, and he has not let him down. Has really done an excellent job in the designated hitter role. But Kevin, the point, if you look at the batting average, this is not on base percentage. This is the batting average. Through 2 games, the Rams are hitting .409. They scored 24 runs, 6 home runs, 2 games. And this is against some of the best competition around. They have found growth. Hopefully, they've got a couple more games left. Hopefully, they haven't used all of it up. I'd like to see them come out, start out quick today, and put some runs on the board early. Shiloh General's pitching staff has to be very well depleted by now. I believe their pitcher went the distance in the first game, so you know he's basically can't do anything more. Something just happened out there. I'm not sure what it was.
Stanley Allen had his hands raised up in the air. Newton Ram players are warming up right now. We'll see exactly what that means. Stanley encouraging players, so perhaps we're about to play some baseball here. One other thing that we'd like to make mention of is that the Rams have gotten good pitching in addition to the 409 team batting average. Jeremy Johnson, namely, Bill, one of the heroes from last night's game, and there were many of those, but Jeremy, one of the most instrumental in the Rams' victory. 3 1/3 innings pitched did not allow a run to South, had only 2 hits, both of those singles. Jeremy Johnson pitching the way that we're used to him pitching, working the inside and outside corners of the ball with a lot of movement, but he keeps his pitch down, and in this ballpark, that is essential.
It certainly is, and particularly in the bottom half of the 8th inning, he did what he had to do. That 5-run lead wasn't about to start putting people on. He had the base on balls, threw it up there, go ahead and hit it, and did an excellent job. Of course, the first 4 innings, Doyle Baker with a tremendous outing. In fact, he retired the last 8 through 4 innings, and then ran out of gas in the 5th inning. Very similar to when he faced with Shiloh the last time, where he pitched well into the 5th inning, and then finally he ran out of gas. Looks like we are going to play baseball, Kevin.
Shiloh General is about to gather around for a conference at third base. Foul side of third base. Rams set to take the field, and here comes Newton Ram baseball. Tonight could be the night that the Rams put themselves in a state tournament for the 2nd time in 4 years. Bill, what great memories from 1994's region championship year and an appearance in the state Final Four. This Rams would certainly love to make it back to that level.
Certainly would, and have to say it's been kind of a surprise at the end of the year when we looked at the Ram team. Had to wonder, because they were so thin basically in the pitching staff, when you lose a Richie Cleary and a Luke Allen and a Jason Lunsford, basically your 3 top pitchers, they came in not knowing what they were going to have. This young man on the mound moved into the area. He was a big plus. Dustin Peck has done a great job for them, as has Jeremy Johnson stepped up. And, of course, the surprise move Thursday night when Coach Brassfield called on his senior, Matt Easterday. Matt throws the complete game shutout, and that is what actually you have to believe has put the Rams in the position they're in right now.
It's Easterday's performance on the mound Thursday night that has made this Rams as confident as they have been the last 2 days. They probably had to come in with the same questions. They lost 3 out of their last 4 games to end the regular season and really had a lot of question marks coming into this tournament. But it really was the pitching of senior Easterday, who, as mentioned, hasn't pitched very much at all this year. Brassfield elected to go with him, and with that performance, bats woke up. Of course, the pitching has been pretty good for the Rams here during this tournament, so got to thank the man playing shortstop right now, Matt Easterday. And speaking of that, he was one of the heroes last night. Making an error, run came across on that, known for that, I'd say, and a little bit more. 3-run jack that started the Newton Ram rally.
That was actually probably, as we discussed it on the air last night during the game, the most critical spot in the game. And if Matt Easterday doesn't do something at that point in time, the Rams could have been in trouble. They were down by 4. We're ready to play baseball.
Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play of the Newton Rams and Shiloh Generals.
It'll be Shane Nash, the right fielder, leading off for the Generals, followed by Michael Laird, the third baseman. Robbie Odell, the shortstop, hit third. William Keeler had 2 home runs in that first game. Plays center field. Eric Mathis, the left fielder, hit 5th. Chris Fader, the second baseman, 6th. Ryan Lesniak, the designated hitter, hit 7th. Chris Coker, the catcher, 8th. And Michael Kelly, the first baseman, hit 9th. Dustin Peck, sophomore lefty, prepares to bring the first pitch of the ballgame home, and it's a shot into right field, and that ball's going to get down and pass Baker all the way to the wall. And Doyle will get it back in, and it'll be a leadoff double on the first pitch of the game for Shane Nash.
Nash taking the first pitch of the game and just punching it out toward right field. A nice job there. The leadoff man getting on base. The Ram defense behind Dustin Peck. In the infield, Stephen Hires, your first baseman. Brendan Smith at second. Matt Easterday at shortstop. And Ryan manning the hot corner. Jarvis Johnson in left field. I think Terry Gilstrap is in center. Doyle Baker out of right, chase that last one down. And red hot Lane Floyd, the home plate umpire, probably sweating close to that red hot young man behind the plate, catching Dustin Peck, the left-hander.
And Michael Laird, the third baseman, gets it now. Here's the first pitch, and that's down low, and another good stop by Lane Floyd, who continues to do everything right so far in this tournament.
Dustin Peck works the outside corner to almost every hitter, Bill, and I think the Rams should play a lot of these righties into the off-field because of that.
That one comes inside, down low, 2-0 the count. Actually, that ball kept slicing away from Doyle Baker, the double by Nash, and the wind helped too. The wind has changed direction. It's actually blowing more from left to right, and anything up in the air to right still might count. Here's the 2-0, and inside 3-0. And Peck suddenly finds himself in a heck of trouble early.
Yeah, missing inside, which is uncharacteristic for Dustin Peck. As we mentioned, he throws fastball, changeup, curveball, and really likes to work the outer third of the plate.
Here's the 3-0, and strike called in the neighborhood of the outside corner.
Got a home plate umpire with definitive call. We will know tonight when it's strike, when it's ball.
3-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Peck. Swing and dribble foul over to the Shiloh dugout. Laird might have helped Dustin out a little bit there. That ball hit inside, jammed him, fouled it over to the on-deck circle.
To fill you in as to what's taking place in the other half of the Quad A tournament, it's the Wildcats right now in the driver's seat as they defeated the Parkview Panthers. So it's Parkview and Park Central played earlier today, right beat the Loop.
3-2 pitch, here it comes, swinging a shot into the hole, and Easterday with a glove will save a run. Good play by the Ram shortstop as he dives to keep the ball on the infield, but it's first and third now with nobody out for the Shiloh General.
Coming up and being aggressive just as they did against the Comets of South Gwinnett. Shiloh's Generals putting the Rams in a little trouble early on here, and we'll see how the Rams play matters. They're infield in here. Very important game. Want to keep any run possible from coming across. So it looks as if the Rams will play the entire infield in with no one out in the first inning.
Looks like now they're going to go back up the middle, and I think they will concede the run for the double play. Yeah, Matt and Smitty have backed up. Stephen will hold the runner at first, and Ryan Moon's going to play right at the edge of the grass.
That had surprised both Smith and Easterday were on the infield grass, and like I said, kind of a shocking, but now they make the correction.
First pitch to Odell, swing and a miss. Almost like a straight change there from the left.
That is where Dustin Peck is at his best. Reminds you a lot of Tom Glavine when he works that part of the play.
0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and another off-speed pitch. Perfect location. Down and away. Michael Laird gets his lead at first. Peck peers in for a sign from Floyd. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Dustin Peck with a great job of pitching there, and with 2 strikes, what happens is you're able to expand the strike zone literally by about a foot. You get strike 1 on the outside corner, strike 2 on a pitch coming down and into the hitter. Now the hitter has to protect that strike zone at the corners, so you get 6 inches on either side, and Peck puts the ball perfectly 6 inches off that outside corner, taking advantage of the new strike zone.
That brings William Keeler to play. Keeler, of course, 2 home runs in that first game. Dustin doesn't want to make a mistake inside to him. Here's the first pitch, and that's a curveball and a beauty, and strike 1. And just as we talked about last night about Doyle Baker, Dustin Peck has to pitch ahead of the count, much more effective. Works quickly. Here's the 0-1. Just a little bit outside. Good pitch, though, ahead of the count.
If you're a pitching coach, you say 2 things to Dustin Peck. Work ahead in the count tonight, keep the ball down.
Runners at the corners, 1 out. Here's the next one. Down low, good stop by Lane Floyd.
Needs a little bit more here to keep the ball down, especially with the wind blowing out at gust toward right field. We saw how many balls were taken out of this ballpark in the first game.
Down at 2-1 now. 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning. Peck will check the runner at first and bring it home and foul to the backstop. But evens the count now at 2-2.
Hard Luck Cafe Wing-Ding inning makes its appearance again tonight. Your chance to win 100 hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe, bottom half. Number 3, perhaps the Newton Ram can take one out of the yard. Bill still have not given away a hot wing in that.
Hard to believe. 1-2 the count. Peck checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swing and barely fouled back. Good pitch once again by Peck. Keeler.
If you're going to come inside the Keeler, who hit the 2 home runs, you're going to need to do it very far down in the strike zone and come way in on his hand. And of course, you've got a very small margin of error there, so Dustin Peck, good confidence is off speed.
Peck would love the strikeout here. Has to work out of this jam. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Pitch high, and Boyd will put it in his pocket. Did not throw. Looked like he started to throw and kind of double clutched.
Bill, Dustin Peck was very late getting out of the way of that throw to second base, or the attempted throw to second base. That may have had something to do with Boyd holding on to that ball, because Peck at the last second was running toward third base away from the line and past that throw.
Ran to the count now. Double play is no longer a possibility. Because of stolen base. So the Shiloh Generals showing aggressive on the base path. Peck will check the runners and fire. That's going to be ball 4, and the bases are loaded now.
Even though Keeler has hit 2 home runs in this game, you don't want to put runners on in a ballpark like this. How you win in ballparks like this, or like Major League pitchers win in Colorado, is you don't walk people, you continue to throw strikes and gain speed. How you win in Atlanta, or Florida, St. Louis, or Newton High School, or anywhere else. Basically, throwing strikes, changing speed. Even though the ballparks may differ in their dimensions, the way you pitch to win never changes.
Dustin will work from the full windup. Now Eric Mathis, the left fielder. Here's his first offering, and that's the curveball in. Must have dropped just a little bit low. Dustin will peer in and get the sign. He's ready. Here comes the 1-0 to Mathis. And there's a curveball. This one catching the inside corner. Mathis gave up on it, and at the last minute, it tapped the cross and caught that inside corner.
Peck throws more than one kind of curveball, Bill. He throws kind of a sort of curveball with very low velocity and real tight spin on it, then one with a little more speed and a little less speed on the ball.
Count is even. 1 out. Rams need the double play or the strikeout. Here's the pitch, and that's inside. That'll run the count to 2-1. Going fairly strongly towards right center field and right field. Here's the 2-1 to the lefty. Swing and a little number foul, and that'll even the count at 2-2. Peck made an excellent pitch, a curveball break down and away, and Mathis barely able to tip the bat on.
Very good pitch by Peck, because your Mathis, the best thing you can do with that is try to slap it and take it off field, and really the best he could do was to just make contact as he did.
Here's the 2-2 from Peck. 0 away and in the dirt, and once again, Lane Floyd showing those excellent defensive skills. He has progressed so much as not only as a defensive catcher, but as a hitter, but as an all-around ball player, and may be going somewhere big this next year to South.
Imagine a left-handed hitting catcher with power.
Here's the pitch. Swing it up the chute, and it'll go out of play.
Tell me that there won't be some interested in something along that.
But there's not too many of them around, and especially one with the defensive prowess of a Lane Floyd. Kind of reminds you a lot of Brian Moon the way he moves from that foot. Full count offering. Back from the wind. Here's the pitch. Whang! And fouled back to the backstop. We'll do it again.
Really the main difference, and probably the only difference between Floyd and Moon, was one of Brian's favorite plays was to throw in behind runners at first base. And he did some kickoffs of his own. He had several his senior year, as a matter of fact. I haven't seen Floyd do that much, but to be honest, I kind of wish the Rams would put that play on times with Floyd. He's got a very good arm, very active.
Here's the 3-2, ball 4, and that's going to force the first run of the ball game home as Shane Nash will cross the plate, and the Shiloh Generals take a 1-0 lead. Still only one out in this top half of the first inning.
Rams fell in love with going off the outside corner there. They had the pitch that Mathis just tapped. That made the count 2-2, and so the Rams were bound to determine they were going to catch Mathis with the pitch away, and they missed twice out there. And a good eye from the Shiloh General left fielder, so the Rams concentrating a little too much on getting him off the plate outside. That cost him a run.
We'll bring Chris Vader, the second backer, to the plate for the Shiloh Generals. Momentum appears to stay swinging in the general direction of the Generals. And here's Dustin's first pitch to Vader, and just off the outside edge. I guess we've seen that pitch called a strike already today, but not that time. 1 ball, no strike. On deck is Ryan Lesniak, designated hitter. Here's the pitch. Bang, and a miss. And had a good pitch from Dustin as he tapped one off. Ball actually dropping out of the strike zone, so a little bit of help from Vader. 1-1 the count with 1 out. Here's the next one. Right, called as he snaps the hook off, and he's ahead now in the count 1-2.
And instead of messing with the corners and trying to nibble right now, they're letting Texas come after this hitter, and I like that idea, especially with the bases loaded.
Here's the 1-2, down in the dirt, another good stop by Lane Floyd.
Again, concentrating on those corners once you've established, throw the ball for strikes over the plate.
Of course, now we're back to 2-2. Same thing happened on the last. Will check to get a sign from Floyd. Here's the 2-2 offering. That ball gets away, and the runner coming to the plate is going to be out at the plate, and Lane Floyd gunning the ball to Dustin Peck, and retired at the plate will be Michael Laird, and it was bang, bang, and fortunately Dustin Peck hustling in, got to the plate, and Lane Floyd with a perfect throw, and Peck dropping the tag down quickly, retiring him at the plate.
Wheeler and Mathis advanced on the plate, so still second and third. But fortunately, with 2 down, a much different circumstance, and even with first base open, if you really felt like it, you wouldn't have to pitch to Vader here, give him ball 4. I think they will come after him. But nice job by Floyd staying with that, even though the ball bounced so far away from home plate. Never gave up on it, and Dustin Peck perfectly applying that tag.
I think Laird got a little bit of a late jump. Here's the full count pitch, and ball 4, and the bases loaded again, and Dustin Peck is just flirting with danger all around. He's very fortunate to only be down by 1, and Coach Brassfield's going to make the trip out to the mound and talk to him on stuff.
And again, this conference probably won't be an exceptionally long one. 2 words will be said between Brassfield, well, several words I'm sure will be said between Brassfield and Peck, but 2 key words will be throw strikes, because all that Peck has to do is get that ball over the plate right now, as he was pitching to Vader for most of that at bat. Now remember, twice he's gotten ahead of hitters and walked the last 2, and that's probably Brassfield's words for him. Be a little bit more aggressive with 2 strikes, have more confidence in your stuff.
And Peck and Lane Floyd appeared to be having some words a little bit as they had some miscommunications. But Coach Brassfield really went out and quickly got his point across, kind of reminiscent of another lefty that used to pitch for the Rams when he'd go out and talk to Jason Lunsford. Lesniak hitter. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss at the high heat, and I think Coach Brassfield may have told him, just quit messing around, throw strikes, and let's get in and get the run.
The way he pitched to Vader the first 2 pitches at the at-bat is absolutely the way he's pitching almost every hitter.
Here's the 0-1. That's going to be just a little bit low, 1-1.
Forget about nibbling at the corners. Forget about the fact that if you put the ball in this spot, it may hit here and it may go out of the yard. That's going to be keeping it out.
Here's the 1-1 upstairs, and Peck falls behind. 2-1 the count. Dustin has his sign. Here's the pitch. All 3, and Dustin Peck digging himself deeper and deeper into a hole.
Shiloh taking these pitches, and you have to like the fact that the Generals are being patient with Dustin Heck, I think Glenn George has got a smile across his face down the third base line because of that.
Heck has his sign. Here comes the 3-1. All four, and that's going to force the second run of the inning in. And both having scored via the base on balls, and if not for the runner being thrown out on the wild pitch, there would be another run across. Coach Brassfield has to not be pleased at the moment right now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive bases on balls. And for the most part, he was ahead in the count to each of them.
Most certainly was, and again, tried to toy with the corners. Now, these last two bases on balls, ball four in both instances, has not missed by a tremendous amount on the inside part of the plate, but he hasn't been getting the ball there, so he'll have to stay away from that part of the plate.
We'll bring Chris Coker as the catcher to the plate. Of course, right now, you don't want to get too good and groove one right down the middle of the plate with the wind blowing the way it is, the ball carrying. That will work from the line. Here's the pitch. Ball way outside. And this may be a short night for Dustin Peck.
Jeremy Johnson already warming up for Newton and Holden, and Joe Brassfield in a playoff game like this will have to have a quick hook.
Here's the 1-0, down low and 2-0. About to walk his fifth straight batter, and this is something we haven't seen in games we've worked to Dustin Peck.
Not at all. Peck having troubles with the control, and as you mentioned, really not characteristic of the left.
Here's the 2-0. Strike called on the outside corner. Rams, if they could get out of this with just 2 runs scored, you'd feel very fortunate, Kevin.
Absolutely. Bases loaded right now. Even though the number 8 hitter is up, anybody can do some damage. Michael Kelly, the number 9 man, went out last.
Here's the pitch. Strike 2 called on the outside corner. Coker started to offer, held back, and it was called a strike.
Now, you're in an interesting position if you're Dustin Peck to go for the outside corner, or you just try to blow a fastball past Coker.
Let's throw strike. Here comes the 2-2 with 2 outs. Breaking ball, see ya. That's what he needed. That's going to do it for the Shiloh Generals in their half of the first inning, though. They do score 2 runs. They did so on only 2 base hits, no ram errors, and the bases left full. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Your score is Shiloh 2 and the Newton Rams coming to bat. You're listening to all of this on your local leader for sports, WGFS, AM 1430, made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
We're back from the campus of Southland High School in Snellville, Georgia. This is John Sawyer Field. This is the 3rd straight night that the Newton Rams have been involved in region tournament action here. They won the first 2 nights, but haven't started off on the best of foot tonight as they're down 2-0 before they even get the chance to hit. Bill Dolan with the play-by-play and the Rams starting lineup.
Thank you very much. Kevin Holden will be Jarvis Johnson, the left fielder, leading off, followed by Ryan Moon, the third baseman, sorry. Matt Easterday, the shortstop, hits 3rd. Lane Floyd, the hotter than you can get catcher, hits in the cleanup spot. Even Hires hits 5th at first base. Doyle Baker, the right fielder, hits 6th. Kerry Gilstrap in the 7th hole from center field. Bradley Dobbs, the designated hitter, hits 8th, and Brandon Smith on a tear hits in the 9th spot.
The defense for the Shiloh Generals behind left-hander Tom Young, a name that we've heard before. Eric Mathis is in left field. William Keeler in center. Shane Nash is in right. Michael Laird at 3rd. Robbie Odell at short. Chris Nader, the 2nd baseman. Michael Kelly at 1st. Chris Coker catches the lefty Tom Young.
And the first pitch to Jarvis Johnson is the strike call. Now, Kevin, as the Rams bat, look at the play.
Completely limp right now, so no wind to aid the Rams. Of course, there was no wind to aid them late last night either.
Go 1 to Jarvis down in the dirt. That was about a 54.5-foot curveball there.
Rams have seen Tom Young before, Bill. The left-hander went 4 2/3 innings back on April 18th against the Rams at Riverside Park, allowed only 2 runs, and left after he hit Doyle Baker.
1-1 to Jarvis. There's a curveball that just breaks outside, I guess. Very close on that outside corner. Jarvis laid off.
Young gave up 4 hits and walked 3 in that. Struck out 3 also.
1 to Jarvis. Now he calls that one a strike, which was farther outside than the previous pitch. You have to admit, consistency has not been order of the day and played for most umpires. 2-2 the count to Jarvis. You wait. Here's the pitch. That one bounces 3-2.
Jarvis Johnson also looking to be patient. If the left-hander Young will follow his left-handed counterpart and start walking people, the Rams likewise will be patient and take advantage.
Count is full. Here's the pitch to the leadoff hitter. Swing and a miss, and Jarvis unable to come up with the fastball as catcher Chris Coker grounds it in the left field corner.
Ooh, that reminds you of something that happened back on the 18th of April, the last time these two teams met. The Newton Rams were pretty much slated to lose that game. They were down 3-2 in the 6th inning with 2 outs, and Roderick Henderson struck out for what would have been the 3rd out of the inning. Chris Coker had only to throw the ball to first base to retire Henderson and end the 6th and give Shiloh momentum. His throw to first went into right field. The Rams scored 2 runs and eventually won that game 4-3.
That'll bring Ryan Boone, third baseman, up to the plate for the Rams. Ryan hitting at .571. Also has 2 walks. So he's 4 out of 7 and has reached base 6 times total. Fouled right back at us and does not jar that ball out of the screen that got caught up there last.
And that ball is still up there from the Newton Rams game last night against South. That was a classic ball game last night between those two teams. As we mentioned during the broadcast, it really is a shame that someone had to lose that game. Newton Ram baseball, the region tournament from South Gwinnett High School, Snellville, Georgia. Bill Dolan, second inning, play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Holden will be 9-1-2 for the Shiloh Generals. Michael Kelly swings and misses at the outside fastball from Dustin Peck.
Michael Kelly helped end Shiloh Generals' victory with a home run late in South Gwinnett.
Here's the next one, and I thought the man in blue was going to raise the hand. He didn't, as it sailed just a little bit outside. That'll even the count at 1-1. Peck brings the next one home. Swing, and there's a base hit to right field as it'll fall in front of Doyle Baker. And Shiloh continues the hit parade. That's their 3rd hit of the night.
And when you walk 4 batters in the first inning as well, that's going to contribute to those runs coming across. If Dustin erases the bases on balls, none of the runs come across. Both of them that scored in the first inning scored as they were walked in. So Shiloh taking advantage, and they're going to be given a couple of runs. They will certainly take them, and literally the Rams did give them those 2 runs first.
Shane Nash, now he had a double his first bat. Peck will check the runner, bring the first one home. Strike call to curveball as it catches that outside corner about thigh high. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, Baker moves over a little more towards the right field line, playing him almost like a left-handed hitter now. Here's the 0-1. Swinging the ball, hit to the right side. That'll get out of play. And Peck ahead in the count now, 0-2.
After the way Nash drove the ball toward Baker's side the first time up, you can understand why the Ram right fielder is shading him toward the right field line. First pitch of this game, and it did for a double.
Center fielder Kerry Gilstrap well on the right field side of center. After throw the first by Peck, diving back. Michael Kelly. Rams down by 2. Early in the ball game. We're in the 2nd inning. Wind blowing straight out now. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a shot to the left center field gap. On his horse is Jarvis. He won't get it. It's down and all the way to the wall. And Kerry Gilstrap gets it up. It looks like they're going to wave the runner home. Easterday whirls. Here's the throw. He might be out, and he is out! And the Rams got another runner at the plate. Matt Easterday with the perfect relay to Lane Floyd. And running all the way to third base on the play is Shane Nash, but the first out of the inning occurs at home plate.
And the Newton Rams had, if you had to set up a play in which you had the 2 most powerful arms on the Ram team to be able to nail a runner, you could not have set it up any better. Kerry Gilstrap to Matt Easterday to Lane Floyd. We know about Kerry Gilstrap's arm, and you know how accurate Easterday's throwing arm is to home plate. So the Rams were fortunate enough to have their 2 best arms in on that play. Perhaps with any other ones, it might have been a little different. But Easterday, with a perfect throw to the plate, and Floyd, all he had to do was let the runner tag himself.
And that'll bring Michael Laird to the plate. Here's the first one from Dustin. Swing and a miss. I'll tell you, Kevin, I watched Matt waiting for the throw. He was turned perfect throwing position today. As he took the throw, it was basically almost like a hockey player one-timing it in a perfect throw. 0-1 the count. Here's the next one. Pitch out in front of the plate. Good block once again by Floyd.
Little baseball. The difference in his positioning there, body-wise, how he was able to take the throw and immediately get it off to Floyd, made the difference in the score being 2-0 or 3-0.
And Kelly was out by plenty at the plate. 1-1 the count. Here's the next one. Upstairs for a ball. We'll run the count to 2-1. Dustin still struggling with that control. I think Nash kind of fooled around there as he turned and drilled that one to left center as they were playing him to get more to right. Laird had a base hit his first time up. Here's the next one. Swing and forget about it. Adios. That one off the top of the screen, and that's going to make the score now 4-0 for the Shiloh Generals.
If you're a right-handed hitter, you can get the ball up in the air tonight. Maybe a very fortunate young man. You may be touching all the bags, so anybody who can do that might want to come on out, as the Rams may need some of the help with that. 4-0 now. And no doubt about it, as Laird got that ball up in the air and up to that net out there, there's a house just beyond the 40-foot net that has been constructed out there. And that is and the net is the only thing that's keeping that house from being inundated with fly balls. You can see why they constructed the net. Joe Brassfield, after this home run given up by Peck, the 5th hit he's allowed, is not wasting any time. He's going to bring in a new pitcher.
It looks like it's going to be Kerry Gilstrap come in, and Doyle Baker's going to move to left field. Jarvis Johnson will move to center, and Ryan Lee will come into the game in right field. And basically, Dustin Peck just didn't have anything tonight.
No, he did not. Peck was trying to work the corners all night long and was missing those corners. So when you nibble and you're unable to hit those corners, that's when you can hit hard. Finally, it happened that he was drilled for the 2-run homer. So hard-throwing sophomore Kerry Gilstrap will be the next pitcher here for the Newton Rams. Then while he keeps his warm-up toss, take a quick break. Ram Baseball on WGFS, brought to you by folks at East Metro Communications. They are your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment. Kerry Gilstrap, the new man on the pitch for the Newton Rams, moving in from center field. Here with the other changes and play-by-play as the Rams try to escape a second inning in which they've already allowed 2 runs. Here's Bill Dolan.
Very much Kevin Holden. Ryan Lee comes off the bench and goes out to right field, moving Doyle Baker over to left field. Doyle bumps Jarvis Johnson to center field because Kerry Gilstrap comes in to pitch, and Dustin Peck takes a seat on the bench. And Bradley Dodds will continue to be the designated hitter. He'll be hitting for Ryan Lee now. Peck's line is complete. He goes 1 1/3, faces 11 batters, gives up 4 runs, all of them earned, 5 base hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. So not a very impressive effort for sophomore.
And the 4 straight bases on balls are what gave you the indication that something was wrong tonight with Dustin Peck. And so Joe Brassfield in other games may have had a little more patience, not this time around, as he must get these outs and get them down before he gets down too far. The Shiloh General team, it really doesn't want to play Monday. The best thing would be for the Rams to try to finish this thing off tonight.
Gilstrap will work to Odell, and there's a strike call, and you like to see that, getting the head of the hitter. Dustin Peck started out well to a couple hitters, but tried to be too cute. Kept trying to work the corners, and kept falling behind. Here's the 0-1. That's a little bit outside. 1-1.
Kerry Gilstrap pitch against Lovejoy High School. The South Metro final round game played at Heritage. Gilstrap throwing very hard in that game.
Here's the 1-1. Strike 2 as he paints the corner. Kerry Gilstrap, probably the hardest thrower that has been seen so far on this Ram staff in this tournament. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's way outside, and then third. It's by Lane Floyd.
Reason why you want to try to do something with this tonight, even though you have a loss to give in this tournament and the way it's set up right now. If you give the Shiloh Generals 48 hours to get their pitching rested and ready to go for next week, completely different set of rules by the time Monday comes around.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's down low, and that hit by Floyd also. That one appeared to cross him up a little bit as like it hit him in the shin guard. You know?
Remember that Gilstrap hasn't pitched very much this year, and even though he throws a hard fastball, it does have a little movement on it that tries to mix it up with the curveball, so Floyd probably not just catching sophomore here.
Count runs full now at 3-2. Bobby Odell, a strikeout victim this first time. Here's the next one, and he's a strikeout victim again. This one bounces in front of the plate. Floyd jumps on it and guns and gets him.
And a nice job there by Gilstrap throwing that pitch low and away, getting Odell to chase after it. I don't know, it may have been ball 4 if Odell had taken that pitch, but Rams will certainly take the edge, and the first out of this inning, which will hopefully, second out of this inning made that, which will hopefully give them a little bit of advantage here. And they are facing the cleanup man, William Keeler, so Gilstrap will have to watch it. If he proves the fastball, it will be lost deep into the night here.
Rams down by 4 and have retired 2 runners at the plate already. Could 6 or more already. Gilstrap prepares to work to Keeler. Here's the first one, upstairs for a ball. There he tells himself down back Maybe he's telling himself to calm down. Pumped up. 1 ball, no strike. Here's the next one. Fastball just a little bit outside. 2-0 the count now. Eric Mathis, left fielder, waits on deck. Gilstrap wheels and deals at 2-0. Ball 3 way outside. Not even close that time.
Action again in the Newton Ram bullpen. A right-hander. Perhaps Ryan Lee. No, Ryan Lee's in right field. Pardon me. Would be Joey Smith warming up.
Gilstrap readies for the 3-0. Here it comes, and it's going to be ball 4 as it's about a foot inside. So Gilstrap walks the cleanup hitter Keeler on 4 pitches.
Is it something about the Newton Rams and cleanup hitters that has been such a problem here at South Gwinnett? You remember, Bill, last night, the Newton South Gwinnett team, Jason Sadler walked several times by Newton Ram pitchers, and here already in 2 innings, Keeler has drawn 2 free passes. Rams having trouble facing the number 4 men in batting orders. Of course, 4, 5, 6, and 7 have all drawn walks in the early going for Shiloh here.
Here's Mathis taking ball 1 upstairs, and Gilstrap suddenly can't find the plate. 5 straight balls. This is not what Coach Brassfield wanted to do, come out and ball behind big early for Shiloh. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a number up the middle. Matt will take it himself, and that's going to take care of the Shiloh Generals in their half of the second inning. They do score 2 runs. Did so on 3 base hits. There were no Ram errors and 1 runner left on base. We head now to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is Shiloh 4 and Newton 0 on WGFS AM 1430. East Metro Communications has been a cellular agent for 10 years, making them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agencies.
Newton Rams baseball live on WGFS. Welcome back to Snellville, Georgia, and John B. Sawyer Field. Rams will try to climb back into this one. They trail by 4. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play action, and who better to start a Newton Ram rally than the hottest Newton Ram, Bill Lane Floyd.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. Lane Floyd comes into this game with a mere .750 batting average, 6 out of 8, 3 home runs, 3 singles, 8 RBIs. He has been on base 6 consecutive times, 5 out of 5 last night, and his last at bat was a home run in the game Thursday night. So doing a lot of things well and continuing to shine defensively behind the plate.
I had a short discussion with Lane after the game yesterday. I said, Lane, certainly hope you break out of your slump soon. Looked at me and kind of give a chuckle.
Gets there with the Rams down 4. Facing the left, Tom Young. Here's the first offering. Swinging fouled back and out of play.
You have a hitter who is in the zone the way Floyd has been the last couple of days, enough to figure out how to pitch him. Remember that the 2 home runs last night, one went over the right field foul pole, the other one hit the left center, the off field.
Young ahead in the count, 0-1. Here's the next one. Breaking ball, and there's a drive. That ball might go, and it's going to be foul down the left field line. That one kind of died as it got into the wind, Kevin. The wind blowing towards right field, but Floyd missed a double by about 3 feet.
And the fact that it was blowing toward right, I thought it might blow that ball back on the other side of the chalk into fair territory, but the mention kind of died as it got out there. Floyd hitting the ball well on a line and again to the opposite field.
Behind in the count now, 0-2. Here's Young's pitch. Wang and a miss, and they finally get Lane Floyd out as he chases a pitch down and in, and he'll go down on strike.
What Tom Young has become Cy Young with 2 strikes so far tonight. He's throwing some great 2-strike pitches. He got Johnson on a pitch in a perfect location, low and away. Catches Floyd here with a pitch down and in, so he has handled the left-handed batters in the order with no problem so far.
We'll bring Stephen Hires to the plate. Stephen hitting .375 in the tournament so far, 3 out of 8, including the double. Here's the first pitch, and down in the dirt, and ball 1. Rams need to get some runs going. Have to wake the bats back up. 1 out. Tom Young appears very sharp so far. And wait for the 1-0. Here it comes. And that's down low. That'll run the count to 2-0.
And Hires doing what the Rams will need to do right now, forcing Young to throw strikes early in the count. Sometimes he'll have a tendency to go away off the outside corner or try to get you on a pitch down. threw Floyd a couple like that.
Here's 2-0 to Steven. Inside, ball 3. So down by 4, you want base runners. So Steven doing a good job of being disciplined at the plate, waiting for strikes to be thrown to him.
And that first base runner, sometimes psychological advantage for you. Rams haven't had one yet.
Here's 3-0, and it's the automatic right down central. That'll run the count to 3-1. Very cool night here. In fact, the window's starting to fog up a little bit here in the press box. Young brings the 3-1 to Hires, swinging a shot. That ball is just foul down the third base line as it hit fair and then curved foul before it got past the third base bag. As Steven really turned on that pitch. That'll run the count full now at 3-2. Evan, watch for the slow off break.
And Young has put balls in great locations. If I were Hires, I would probably watch the ball down and in.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Hires. And he chases a terrible pitch down in the dirt and outside, and he'll go down on strikes. The third strikeout already for Young.
Hires thinking the same way I was, and that's why he struck out and why I'm in a broadcast booth and not out there hitting. As Tom Young went at him outside with what might have been that fastball going away from the right-hander. Hires the third strikeout victim so far.
It'll bring Doyle Baker to the plate. Here's the first one to Doyle. He'll take a pitch up.
Again, Young doing a good job of expanding the strike zone with 2 strikes. Going 6 inches off the outside part.
Young gets behind in the count 3-0 and comes back for the strikeout. The Ram pitcher's got way ahead. And Doyle Baker hits a shot. There's the first base runner of the ball game as he laces a single to center field.
Doyle Baker, who is only 1 for 7 in the 2 games of this tournament, that's a very misleading 1 for 7. He's been instrumental in a couple of different Newton Ram rallies. He doubled in a couple of runs early in the Central Gwinnett game and helped the Ram cause out last night as well. He gets his second clean base hit here, a single, and nothing fancy with that one, driving the ball right back up the middle.
Doyle was standing way up in the batter's box on the 7 and 8. Went ahead, jumped on the first pitch, and did it well, and dropping in front of the center fielder, William Mueller. That'll bring Terry Gilstrap, who has moved in as pitcher now, the chance to help himself.
When you stand up near the front of the batter's box, that's to cut off some of the break on the curveball, and Tom Young does have a very late break curveball, so it is a wise idea against the lefty like this to stand up near the front of the batter's box.
Gilstrap's standing somewhat forward in the box also. Terry having a rough series so far. There's a strike called that away momentarily from Coker, but Doyle unable to advance. Did have that wind-blown home run in the first game, but other than that, has not reached base. 0 for 5 last. Baker with a lead. Young brings the next one home. Gilstrap takes a curveball upstairs to even the count at 1-1. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Shiloh Generals. No runs on 1 hit for the Newton Rams. Either side with an error. Young checks Baker and he'll toss over there. Doyle back up.
Rams haven't used the running very much in this tournament. Of course, this level of baseball, when you reach the postseason, most of your catchers have very good and accurate arms.
Young brings the next one home and fouled as Gilstrap kind of a late swing. Weakly fouled it to the right side.
The other half of that is that with balls flying out of this yard as they have in this tournament, why would you want to run the risk of having someone thrown out on the bases when he may be able to walk across home plate after a big blast?
Like we said, Shiloh has lost 2 runners home plate already tonight, and both of them would have scored. Here's the 1-2 to Gilstrap. Swinging another little dribbler. This one will be fielded in foul territory by Michael Kelly. And Terry just does not look like the same hitter he was earlier in the year.
I think he's hitting most everything off the end of the bat. It's hitting numbers that they're going foul down the first baseline. With that, you might say that having a little trouble getting around on the ball, needs to be closer up the plate. One thing that's happening, you're facing a right-hander who throws the ball away. Sometimes that'll happen. This is a left-hander up there, so apparently some problem with Terry's swing right now.
In fact, even commented home run was off that. After the first, Baker diving back this time. We're in the bottom of the second inning, still early, but the Rams down by 4 already. Shiloh has played at 2 in each of the first 2 innings. First base umpire calls time. Guessing he wants to clean off the rubber so he can make sure there is not a balk.
have a clear field of vision tonight. We had some fog in the early going. Right before this game started, rain and the fog, not like playing this game up in England, though.
It appears to have been raining completely now. It's very chilly outside. Gilstrap ready to face the 1-2 from Young. Baker with a short lead. Here's the pitch. And upstairs, and good thing for Kerry because he was not going to be able to pull the trigger, it looked like.
Kerry Gilstrap, hitter who's been struggling in the first couple of games, pitches like that sometimes fits. But a nice job by the sophomore team.
And leaving the count at 2-2 with 2 out. Young brings the next one home, and Gilstrap takes ball 3 up and in. Immediately looks back, comes in. The sign of a hitter who's not confident, not feeling good at the plate.
Wants to make sure that the pitch that he thought was ball 3 is ball 3.
Baker will be off and running with this pitch. And the throw instead over to first base. Pretty close to a balk.
Came up, brought that foot very close to bringing it behind the rubber. Close to a balk. Baker, though, wasn't fooled by it. He was on his way back to base.
I'm going to check him in. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be ball 4, and the Rams will have 2 runners on now for Brandon Dobbs. Comes into the game with a 500 batting average. Bradley Dobbs. Sorry, Bradley.
He hits a home run. We at least should be able to get the young man's first name. He really drove that ball hard last night. The home run in the 8th inning that helped to cement the win. And whether or not Dobbs realized it, he helped the confidence quite a bit with that 2-run home run. That made it very much more comfortable for Jeremy Johnson and his teammates.
Here's the first one to Bradley. Swinging a number towards the right side. The first baseman will glove it in. He will race Dobbs to the bag and beat him, and that's going to do it for the Rams in their half of the second inning. They do not score. They had 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 runners left, and we head now to the top of the third inning. Your score is 4-0. Shiloh out in front on WGFS AM 1430. Made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local source for cellular, paging, and 2-way radio equipment.
If you bury...
Top half of inning number 3, and welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field, Melville, Georgia, at South Gwinnett High School. Newton Rams trail here 4-0. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play top half of the third.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. And for the Shiloh Generals, it'll be Chris Vader, the second baseman, followed by Ryan Lesniak, the designated hitter, and then the catcher, Chris Coker, the 6th, 7th, and 8th place hitters in the lineup. Kerry Gilstrap worked in his second inning of work. Fortunately, got out of the second inning without any damage. He did walk 1 batter who was then fired on a fielder's choice by Eric Knapp.
He was greeted, Gilstrap was, by Brandon Smith, Matt Easterday, and Ryan Booth. They want to make sure that his head is on straight and ready to pitch here at the third inning. The Rams really do need an inning, which they retire the Generals 1-2-3. That's going to be step number 1 toward getting the momentum back the way of the Rams.
Vader walked his first time, one of 4 consecutive Generals with 3 pass. All 1 outside from Gilstrap. Rams trail by 4. Gilstrap brings the next one, swinging a shot towards the hole. Easterday can't get it, and it'll be by him for a base hit.
The ball hit in a good spot, and Easterday, the best chance he would have had there was to backhand that ball as it was headed toward the hole at shortstop. The ball set up as it was bouncing through the infield, and that's how it got past him. Joe Brasfield comes to the mound, and I think Kerry Gilstrap's night is over with as well, as Brasfield's going to try to find someone who can get somebody out here tonight.
And Ryan Boone is going to come in and pitch again, and evidently Doyle Baker's going to go to third base. I guess that's what this is about. We'll tell you all about it when we come back in just a moment as the Rams make another change. You're listening to Newton Ram playoff action on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local source for cellular, paging, and 2-way radio equipment.
Rams, see what Ryan has here. He's the third pitcher to pitch in the inning for the Rams. Welcome back to Ram Baseball, the Region 8 Quad A tournament. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play in the line on Kerry Gilstrap.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. Pitched third, the 7th inning, faced 4 batters, didn't give up any runs, although the runner at first base, he is responsible for 1 base hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Boone comes in to pitch. Jarvis Johnson back to left, Kerry Gilstrap back to center. First pitch is a ball outside. Lane Floyd had vision throwing in behind the runner like you talked about.
That's a play the Rams could execute and probably pretty well with. Got a good fielding first baseman in Hires who could tag out the runners. Remember 2 years ago, same kind of situation. Good fielding first baseman, good throwing catcher.
Next one is bunted down the first base line and rolls foul. Ryan Lesniak, designated hitter, he was walked first at that. Coach Brassfield showing the quickest hook we've ever seen him as Terry Gilstrap staying there long. Doyle Baker, by the way, moves in and plays third base as some pitch. Hitter gets the lead. Boom. A long time since this time. Says yes. And here's the pitch, and it's a curveball, and I'm at a loss, Kevin.
It's around the outside part of the plate. Remember, missed outside an awful lot. Missed outside a lot last night. Tried to come into pitch.
2-1. Next one, all three, and Ram pitchers continue to shoot themselves in the foot here tonight.
The mechanical adjustment that Luke make. Remember, you said that starting this appearance the same way he did last time, missing everything outside.
3-1, and there's a drive to right field. Ryan Lee goes back, and he will not get it, and it's going to be over his head and off the wall. And he'll bring it back in. The runner will be held up at third. It's going to be second and third, and nobody out. And the Rams are in deep trouble.
Ryan Lee, I think, lost that ball in the lights. He brought his glove up, shielding his face as that ball was hit. But it was hit on a line, and a pop fly that goes up into the light sometimes is easier to make the adjustments on. But a line drive in which he may not have had a chance to make the play to begin with becomes that much tougher when you lose it, hence the double. And the Rams will have to play the infield in all the way around.
We'll bring Chris Coker, the catcher, to the plate. Runners at second and third, and nobody out. Rams already trail by 4. Here's the first Moon offering. Break the ball upstairs for a ball. Ryan Moon, another one of those types of pitchers that cannot afford to pitch behind in the count. Up the ball's behind 1-0. Sign from Floyd. Here's 1-0, swinging a chopper, and that's going to be through and in for a base hit, and 1 run is scores, and Jarvis will keep it in his pocket as both runs come across to score, and that's going to make it 6-0 now in favor of the Shiloh Generals. And Kevin, Mr. Momentum has certainly stayed on that third base line.
Shiloh Generals putting in a pitch runner here, Colin Sutton, will go in for Chris Coker at first base. Coker will be congratulated after that base hit past the drawn-in infield. Probably would have been a base hit either way, even if the infield were back. When this game was 2-0, after Shiloh's first 2 runs, you didn't feel quite so bad. But with every progressive inning, it's getting much, much worse for the Newton Rams. So now down by 6. Going to need to pick up the momentum right away.
Brings 9th place hitter Michael Kelly to the plate in the top of the order, about ready to come up again for the 3rd time. That is not good. Nobody out. Moon's next pitch fouled out of play down the right side. That'll leave him the count at 1-1. Well, another thing that's kind of scary is the job Tom Young has done on the mound. He's really handcuffed the Rams so far early on, and almost hope you can get to him because their pitching staff has been thinned considerably, but no, nothing so far. Next one, there's a base hit to right field off Moon. Lee comes in quickly and will hold the runners at first and second, but the hit parade is 9 base hits in 2+ innings so far, and Ram pitching, as good as it was early on, has just really fallen apart.
Those pitchers have walked 5, as a matter of fact, so you're talking about 14 runners thanks to walks and base hits. Rams had more action in their bullpen. They will not wait around, and right now nobody is able to get a Shiloh General batter out. One of those nightmarish kind of things. This is definitely not the Newton Rams team that came in here and played the first 2 nights.
We'll check as works for the leadoff hitter Nash, and he bounces one, and Lane Floyd with a good job of getting over and getting it. And that's going to be it. And we are going to get another pitcher, and it's going to be Joey Smith coming into the game as Captain Hook makes his appearance from the dugout. We'll be back and tell you about the changes right after we hear from our sponsors on your local leader for sports, WGFS, AM 1430. This game brought to you in part by the fine folks at East Metro Communications, who were selected as Aircut Cellular's Agent of the Year in the small market category, the 4th time they have received this award.
Next time you take...
And we are back with 4th pitcher, the Newton Rams of this game, Joey Smith. Joe Brassfield having to go very deep into his pitching staff here, see what he can come up with. Bill Dolan, let's see if Joey Smith can throw strikes.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. I don't think we've seen Joey Smith pitch since the South Metro tournament. He comes into pitch. Ryan Moon goes back to third base. Doyle back to right field. Ryan Lee comes out of the ball game. And I guess that's the only changes. So the designated hitter will still be in effect, but for now for Joey Smith. Fourth pitcher of the night, third pitcher of the inning. Rams down by 6, and they've got to get somebody that can throw some strikes.
Ryan Moon faced 3 hitters, gave up 3 base hits, given up 1 run so far. By the way, closing the book on Gilstrap, he did give up 1 run. That run was earned. Moon, they give up as many as 3 runs. To then honor his responsibility.
On his first, second, here's the first pitch from Smith. Almost hit the batter. The leadoff hitter Shane Nash hitting for the 3rd time in 3 innings. He's had 2 doubles so far.
First 2 at-bats have been very successful.
Joey Smith checks. And fires. There's a strike called as he catches the outside corner of the knees. That'll even the count at 1-1.
Brassfield looking out and saying, thank goodness, a strike.
He has to be frustrated tonight, Kevin. A totally different Newton Ram team showed up here. That will ask for time.
Well, we were debating, Bill, among Newton Ram camps. Of course, you were involved in this as well, as to who the Rams would rather face tonight, South Gwinnett or Shiloh. And the consensus on the majority of people was that the Rams would rather face the Shiloh Generals. The South Gwinnett appeared, at least from what we had seen, to be a much tougher team. The way things look right now, Shiloh looking like a tough team as they come out, having been the 4 seed team that, and almost didn't make this tournament, remember, and now here they sit with a chance to push this thing to a 1-game championship on Monday. They backed into the playoffs, Bill. You remember as they almost didn't make it, but the Meadow Creek Mustangs losing on the last day of the season backed Shiloh into this tournament.
By the lefty, and of course the same left handcuffed them very well back at Riverside Park on April the 8th.
This is a left-hander who is now throwing his curveball for strikes, where before he was unable to do that with his off-speed pitch. Lane Floyd still in the Newton dugout. Everyone kind of waiting to see what's taking place. Glenn George standing out around home plate. See what has happened with the Ram catcher. Now re-emerging from the dugout. The new glove and some tape around his fingers on his right hand. That's, I think, after last night's game on that hand, so maybe he had to tape up those cuts. They have started bleeding.
And that could make it real difficult for him to throw the ball with tape on the end of his fingers like that. 2-1 the count. Smith brings the next one home, and it's down in the dirt, and checking his swing is Shane Nash. They're going to ask for an appeal, and the first base umpire says, no, he did not go, and Joey Smith behind in the count at 3-1.
Boyd came right back out after that delay and blocked that pitch in the dirt, so he continues his fine work behind the plate, unfortunately, and he's a pitcher to work with it.
Here's Smith, 3-1. Swing and foul straight back, and Shane Nash may have helped out the Ram pitcher that time by chasing what appeared to be an inside pitch.
Key for Joey Smith right now is to put that ball across the plate. Remember, a double play is still a possibility on a ground ball.
Rams look for the double play up the middle. Smith checks and fires, and there's a double play ball to Easterday. Over to second for 1. Smitty over to first, throws it away, and Stephen Hires a great job coming off the bag and getting to it. And right now, nothing's going right, Kevin.
You know what? That was a tailor-made double play ball. Rams unable to turn it 6-4-3. In fact, we had even mentioned on the pitch before that double play ball a possibility. So the Rams pitcher that time, Joey Smith, did exactly what he wanted to do, but didn't get the result out of it. So just that kind of night, putting runners at first and third with 1 down. Again, the double play still a possibility. So the Rams will play the middle of that infield back.
Nash with a huge lead at first base. Look for him to go. Smith check and fires. Swing and a miss at a pitch down in the dirt, and now the runner walks down to second base as Lane Floyd kind of forgot about him, I think.
That ball bounced well out in front, and Nash took off immediately, and so Floyd unable to make a throw down there with the infield in. Of course, a long run for either Easterday or Smith to that second base bag.
Infield drawn all the way in now because of the wild pitch. Smith works ahead in the count, though, with 1 strike. Here's the next one. Breaking ball and a beauty, strike 2, as Michael Laird comes up empty. There it is last time up, hit a long home run after singling in the first. Hit it again in the third. 0-2 the count. Smith needs the strikeout. Gets the sign from Floyd. Here's the pitch. Down low and another good stop by Floyd. Ram pitchers are going to wear out Lane Floyd for the night, though.
They already have. He's had to go back to the dugout once for a several-minute delay to tape up the hand. Shows the amount of work he's had to do tonight.
1-2 the count. That's ready. Here's the pitch. Ball, 2-2. Actually, Kevin, I wonder if Lane had to put that on there. Joey was having trouble seeing the fingers for the sign. Because they kind of talked a little bit about it. Count even at 2-2. Michael Laird, the hitter. Joey doesn't want to make a mistake to him. From the wind, here's the pitch. Swinging a shot, base hit. 1 run will score. Here's another man rounding second as Jarvis boots it, but finally gets a hold of it, and the score now 7-0.
And even though Johnson bobbled that ball, I think Shane Nash wisely holding up at third base, and again just past the drawn-in infield, a carbon copy. The base hit earlier on past the drawn-in infield between short and third. Perfectly placed right through the hole. Right now, Shiloh, everything they're hitting is having eyes and finding the spots to get in for base hits there.
And the failure to turn the double play shows up right there because I think Matt Easterday maybe makes the play there. First and third. Still only 1 out. Runner goes. Pitch, swing, and a shot towards the hole. And Easterday's going to throw home, and he is going to be safe as Lane can't come up with this one. And that'll make the score 8-0. Still only 1 out in the third inning.
Again, these Newton Rams right now just falling apart, literally. On the throw home, Shane Nash coming across, and Easterday, really his only chance for anything was a play at the plate. So not a bad idea on the Rams shortstop's part, but was kind of in desperation and wasn't able to get Nash at the plate.
Throw actually beat him, but it was a short hop throw, and Lane Floyd unable to come up with that one. Would have taken a great effort on his part, but throw actually did get there in time. But so far, nothing's gone right for the Rams, so no reason why that should either. Now Keeler hits. Here's the first one to him, upstairs for a ball.
Still only 1 out of this inning. 8th man to hit.
Joey Smith, 4th pitcher of the night for the Newton Rams. Checks the runners at first and second and fires. All 2 down low.
Ram pitchers have not been responsible for retiring a hitter yet. The only out was a force play, second base. Turn from Easterday to Smith, part of the would-be double play.
So he checks the runners. Here's the 2-0 to Keeler. Upstairs, ball 3. And if Joey Smith continues this, his stay will be short-lived.
Who else has an arm who may be able to throw strikes out there? But coming into this game, with the Rams only playing 2 games, you would have thought Shiloh would have the more shallow pitching staff. It's been the Rams so far.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. There's a strike called on the crippled pitch right down central. 3-1 the count. That Keeler won't take all the way here at 3-1. It's checked and fires on 3-1. And a little number down the third baseline, and that ball rolls foul. And plugs it over and keeps it foul. That could have been trouble. I don't know if he would have had a play anywhere.
I don't think so. And the second that ball was foul, Boone gloved that ball. So a good idea there by the Ram third baseman. This game getting underway late in case you're tuning in and wondering why we're only in the third inning. The bad weather early in the day caused us to start a little bit later. The first game getting underway somewhat late, and this game probably about an hour late, underway a little less than an hour. And we've been here well more than an hour and only in the third inning, and that's thanks to lots of 3-ball counts, lots of bases on balls, lots of Shiloh runs.
The count full on this hitter, William Keeler, as Joey Smith checked. And here's the pitch. Curveball struck him out as Smith finally gets a curveball to break over and catches the inside corner, and Keeler gets caught looking. Finally, the second out of the inning is attained.
Now the Rams can look for anything to get this third out here. They don't have to worry about a double play ball. Any way that they can get Eric Mathis out, they can mercifully end this inning. Interesting, you were mentioning about Floyd putting the tape on his fingers. He put tape on all 4 of those fingers. You suppose he has four fingers as a signal for his pitcher? Is there a number 4 in the repertoire?
Not sure. Eric Mathis hit. He has a walk and a fielder's choice to his credit. Here's the first one to him. Strike called outside corner. Maybe Smith can be the answer and give Coach Brassfield several innings of work here. Rams trail 8-0, only in the third inning. Gets a little check and fire. Swinging foul back and out of play, and 0-2 now.
That's looking a little bit better there, working the outside part of the left-hander with both the fastball and the curveball. Now you have a couple of different options. They may want to keep it away, but if they do decide to go inside, they can come off the plate and bust him in on the hand. Also go off that outside part.
I'm going to guess curveball, trying to backdoor the outside corner. Smith brings the next one. Fastball way outside. Boy, dives out.
Boy, it's set up on the inside corner, too. Joey Smith just tried to overthrow that pitch, tried to put extra gas on it, and that one almost got by his catcher.
1-2 the count. Runners lead from first and second. 2 out. Third inning, Rams down by 8. Here's the pitch. Swinging a shot, base hit. No, check it. And ball carries all the way to Doyle Baker. And surprised me as that ball stayed up in the air that long. It looked like he was down, but Doyle came in and made a good catch on a tough play. But the Shiloh Generals played 4 runs. They did so on 5 base hits. No Ram errors and 2 runners left on base. We head now to the bottom of the third inning and the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning on your local leader for sports, WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, who were selected as AirTouch Cellular's Agent of the Year in the small market category, the 4th time they have received this award.
We're back, and it has been all Shiloh Generals here on this Newton Ram broadcast on WGFS. Generals up 8-0 on the Rams, who have only 1 hit against the lefty Tom Young. But could there possibly be a better time to break out than right now at the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning? I don't think so. And I think there are contestants out there who believe the same thing. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play, and perhaps for the first time this year, we'll give away some hot wings. Maybe someone can take one out of the yard.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. It's the bottom of the third inning, and it is the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning. Your chance to win 100 hot wings. And the Rams will send the 9th place hitter and then the top of the order, so we can give one of these balls to leave the yard. And Brandon Smith, the second baseman for the Rams, will hit for Tommy Banks of Covington, Georgia. And he hit for the first time in the game. He's having a good series so far, hitting .571, 4 out of 7, 2 doubles, and a walk and an RBI. Here's the first pitch, down in the dirt. Actually, he appears to be throwing the fastball in the dirt more so than the breaking ball cup.
I think he's throwing fastballs early in the count, and he's been missing with a lot of them a little bit low, and I think the Ram hitters start to be patient now early in the count against those fastballs. It's a bit of an opposite from what we saw last time around when Young could throw his fastball for strikes the first time he faced the Rams, but couldn't spot that breaking ball.
Brings the next one to Smith, and that's way outside. It looked like it's almost a straight change, or almost appeared he turned it over as it appeared to run a little bit away from Smitty.
Lefties will have that kind of motion. Dustin Peck has that kind of motion into a lefty away from a righty. So perhaps he did turn that over.
2-0 the count. Here's the pitch to Brandon, and that's down low, 3-0. So Hard Luck Cafe inning, wing-ding inning. Maybe it'll be good news for the Rams. The Rams need to put some runs on the board. They trail by 8. Fortunately for them, it's still early. It's only the third inning. Need to take advantage of the situation. Here's the 3-0 to Shorty. Ball 4 in. That's a good start. Not good for Tommy Banks, as he won't walk away with 100 hot wings. But Jarvis Johnson steps to the plate, and he will swing for Ricky Shell of Covington, Georgia.
Maybe Ricky Shell can come up with some hot wings. And Ricky, I'll give you a little bit of consolation here. Jarvis Johnson with a little bit of power. Hasn't shown a whole lot of it this year, but anything can happen here at South Bend High School at John B. Sawyer Field. I'll tell you what, Bill, if you're going to be down 8-0 somewhere, perhaps this is the place to be down 8-0, have the chance to come back.
Here's the first pitch to Jarvis. Jarvis takes the ball outside. Jarvis a strikeout pick his first time, and here in the third inning. Jarvis hit about 4 home runs during lead ball, I think, last summer, and hit, 1 so far this year?
He led off the year with a home run, as a matter of fact, one since.
Next pitch to Jarvis, ball 2. That's 6 straight wide ones now, so perhaps that long inning in the dugout affected Mr. Young.
I think it did. 9 hitters came to the plate, and every one of them, it seemed, had a 3-1, 3-2 kind of count. And sometimes a layoff, and remember how cold it is out there. I think it certainly affects the pitcher.
He'll throw over to first, and Shorty back standing. Big problem, too, with falling behind so badly. That really takes the Rams out of their like run. They like to manufacture things. Now they're going to have to force things, hope for the long ball. Here's the next one to Jarvis. That's a strike called across the outside corner as Young finds it, and puts him back in the count at 2-1. Wind blowing strongly to right. If Jarvis could get under one, could win 100 hot wings for Ricky Shell of Young checks and throws over again. Shorty diving back this time.
Young using that step-off move. Ever since Steve Avery perfected the step-off, every young left-hander in the state of Georgia has been working on that move where you have that quick step-off snap throw.
5 steps to the plate, and that's a wide one at 3-1. Doing all the things that you need to do as a pitcher. Step off, quick throw to first, 5 steps to the plate, getting to throw strike.
At least in this inning where he's missed with 7 out of his first 8 pitches, first 2 hitters.
And with an 8-0 lead, I believe I'd not even think about the runner at first base. 3-1 the count. Here's the next one to Jarvis. Ball 4, and the first 2 runners reach base for the Rams. And like we said, something that the coach of Shiloh General, Glenn George, has to just be fuming about. He gets an 8-0 lead, and suddenly his pitcher can't throw strike. Coach Brassfield calls Plug down the third baseline. He'll talk to him as catcher Chris Coker has gone out to talk to Tom Young. Ryan Moon will hit for Calvin Hurd of Lithonia, Georgia. Our expansive list. Moon with 2 dings this year so far. Both of them pulled to the left side. He may have a little trouble getting it out. Perhaps he can get one up in the wind to right center and see if he can carry it. 8-0 the Rams trail. Robbie Odell, the shortstop, bird dogging in behind Moon. Our check at fifth. Here's the first pitch to Moon upstairs for a ball.
Ryan Moon going to make Tom Young throw him pitches over the plate. Remember, this is the time when you want to watch for the fat pitch, because since he's walked 2 straight hitters, they try to take something extra off, throw a strike. That's when you get sometimes the hanging off speed pitch take out of the yard.
1-0 the count to Moon. Runners lead away from first and second. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 2. And suddenly now Glenn George is going to come out of the dugout and have a chat with Tom Young.
Neither of these coaches taking any chances. In fact, Joe Brassfield, if my count is right, 3 times this week now has pulled a pitcher in the middle of a count to a hitter. He did it Monday against the Broncos. Of course, saw him do it once here in this game. So these coaches aren't going to waste any time, and they understand the nature of the situation. You can't have to try to stop bleeding before it starts, literally, in games like this, late in tournaments, because if you don't, when you're facing quality teams, all of a sudden that bleeding will come on strong. Speaking of coming on strong, Easter Day employed the next 2 hitters. That is why Glenn George wants to get Tom Young throwing strikes now.
Jarvis Johnson wanted a different helmet down at first base for some reason. They put him a different one out, leads the way. Pulled way down on his head, almost looks like Willie McGee down there. Willie's helmet sits so low on his head. Here's the 2-0, and there's a strike called as Moon takes all the way. That'll put the count to 2-1.
With all due respect to Willie McGee, the only baseball player that I know of that looks like extraterrestrial.
Quite a good ball player, though. A couple of batting titles, credit. And we'll check and bring the next one to Moon. And that's a strike called outside corner of the knees. That evens the count at 2-2, so it looks like Glenn George's trip to the mound helped Tom Young a little bit. Perhaps he saw something in his motion. That was a break ball that came across, and Moon couldn't pull the trigger. Has to protect that plate now. 2-2 the count. Nobody out. Rams with runners on first and second. Jarvis leads off first as Young steps off.
About those left-handers, Joe Brassfield had to go out and have a discussion with Dustin Beck, mentioned Jason Lunsford last year, and here Tom Young rebounding after the talk from the coach.
Young checks and brings it to Moon, and strike three called, and he knew it as he takes a curveball that breaks across, and Moon never did swing the bat.
Took it all the way. You can understand after walking the first two, that went a little close, and of course you have to be aggressive and be hacking here. But Moon was unable, and so unfortunately Calvin Hurd also does not benefit as he does not pick up the 100 hot wing.
That'll bring Matt Easterday to the plate. Matt will hit for Larry King of Covington, Georgia.
Hey, what if you are hungry? Stop by the Hard Luck Cafe. They've got hot wings, chicken strips, and now something new on the menu, chicken sandwich. And we can both attest to the fact that it continues in the fine tradition of cuisine, the Hard Luck Cafe.
Excellent product that Randy has added down there, and I think it'll end up being a very popular item. They hit now with one out. Rams trail by they with one home run in the series so far. Just last night. Here's the first pitch. Way high for a ball to Matt. Lane Floyd waits on deck. He's hit 3 home runs.
Rams want to try to get this inning to Floyd with 2 men on. They want to see what he can do to try to put them back into this game.
They normally with good power to right center, but now the wind has died completely as it's beginning to rain again. And there's a shot. Might be 2. Oh, it's off the second baseman into right field. They're going to wave Shorty home. He will score. Jarvis Johnson on his horse. He'll get into third. On the error on the second baseman, Chris Vader. So life for the Rams.
Ball may have taken a bit of a tricky hop out there for Vader. He also might have taken a quick look at second base, thinking that they needed the double play with Floyd coming up. He may have taken his eye off the ball, and that's the pressure that standing on deck circle can have sometimes against the defense. So, Larry King, sorry, no hot wings for you either. Lane Floyd may be able to win somebody some hot wings, though. My goodness, if you had to put your money down on some Newton Ram hitter to hit a home run in a situation, how about Lane Floyd here in this tournament?
Lane Floyd hit for Deborah Dial of Oxford, Georgia. Deborah has to be thinking her chances are good. Rams finally bent the board. Floyd waits for the first offering from Young, and he takes it down low for a ball. Floyd, a strikeout victim this first time, hit a couple balls, foul balls hard, and then was handcuffed on an excellent pitch by Young down and in.
They have started Floyd both at bats by throwing the ball outside, and right now he can make those adjustments and try to take the ball out toward left field.
Hires waits on deck. Rams have scored 1, hit a few more. 1-0 the count to Floyd. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 2. Well, I almost think right now, Kevin, if I'm Coach Shiloh, I may stick up 4 fingers. They don't even mess with him. 2-0.
If nothing else, this is the intentional walk where you throw pitches nowhere near the plate just to see if you can get a swing.
2-0 the count. Here's the next one to Lane. Swing and a miss, and Floyd gunning for those downs and a little bit out in front on that pitch.
Off-speed pitch, and instead of trying to take that to left field, that pitch was on the outside corner. It looked like he tried to pull it. Maybe he was thinking about the 3-run blast.
2-1 the count now with 1 out. Here's the next one to Floyd. Swing, and Lane helps him out, chasing one down in the strike. So now Lane Floyd appears to be a little bit anxious at the plate, whereas before he was such a relaxed and patient hitter. Now he's pushing a little.
The difference is right now the Newton Rams are down 7 runs, where in the past they have been up for the most part of these. So Floyd may be trying to single-handedly help this team out and try to carry the weight by himself.
Out even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back and out of play, and Lane didn't appear to get a real good cut at that one.
Trying to get a piece of that to foul it off so he stays alive there. Even Hires on deck. Might come up with a base hit, too. He's been instrumental in so many Ram rallies, and got a long, long road to travel here, down 7. Rams still with only 1 base hit.
Yesterday leads from first. Jarvis Johnson off third. Lane Floyd the hitter. Here's the pitch. Swinging a shot to the first baseman. That ball is called fair, and the first baseman will step on the bag. And the first base umpire made that call. Actually, that was not his call. It should have been the home plate umpire's call because the ball did not get past the bag. And I'll tell you, Kevin, from our angle, it looked like the first baseman fielded the ball with the glove in foul territory.
Michael Kelly shielded the view of the first base umpire, not intentionally, but he was out there to catch the ball. So the first base umpire may have had kind of a shielded view of that.
It'll bring Stephen Hires to the plate, and Stephen will hit for Patty Parham of Conyers, Georgia.
Rams needing a base hit here. These men on, they need to get them home.
Steven hits it a mile high. That'd be a home run in a silo. The right fielder looks for it, and suddenly the wind catches it, but he will come up with a catch, and he staggered underneath it, but that's going to do it for the Rams in their half of the inning. They do get one run. They did it without benefit of a hit. There was one Shiloh error, so that run is unearned, and 2 runners left on base. We head now to the top of the 4th inning, and your score is now Shiloh 8, Newton 1 on WGFS AM 1430. As you're listening to this, made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
Top half of the 4th inning from John B. Sawyer Field. Welcome back to Newton Ram Baseball. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play. Try to maybe keep the Generals off the scoreboard this inning, something the Rams haven't been able to do yet.
Thank you very much. Kevin Holden will be second baseman. Chris Bader leading off. He's walked and singled in his 2 at-bats. Takes the first one from Joey Smith outside for a ball. Something we've seen about all night. Ram pitchers falling behind. 1-0 the count. Rams only able to get 1 run in that last inning. Trail 8-1. Here's the next one from Smith. Way high for ball 2. It's starting to rain, and it's hard to tell whether it's more of a mist, I guess, as we look up. Blowing very hard out to right field. Here's the next one, and fouled back to the backstop. 2-1 the count.
A fan who is coming to this tournament for the first time tonight has to wonder, how in the world did the Newton Rams make it to this point in the tournament? But they have 1 hit and they're down 8-1. Of course, Rams playing 2 great games coming in, but someone who didn't see those games would wonder about this team based on the performance tonight.
Went really wailing now. It appears to blow for Shiloh and not for Newton. Next one, should be a strike, and it is called as Bader could not check his swing, hits himself in the helmet with his bat. And leaving the count now at 2-2. Joey Smith, pitcher for the Rams. Brings the 2-2 home. Swinging a shot to right field, up in the wind. Going back is Doyle, and he will squeeze it for the out, and every ball hit to the outfield right now is an adventure.
Most certainly, with the wind and the rain blowing across from left to right, you're going to have to be looking right up, and if you're the right fielder, you're looking right up into the rain. Remember the ball that Ryan Lee lost track of up there? May have also had something to do with that rain. And let's put it this way, we're glad it's not us in right field right now. Doyle Baker with a tough job to do out there.
That'll bring Ryan Lesniak to the plate. He'll take ball 1 outside. Lesniak walked in the first and doubled back in the third. Generals with 10 base hits. Rams only 1 unearned run and only 1 hit. Here's the next one. Swinging a shot foul just past the Ram dugout and out into right field. I'll tell you, Kevin, the ground is so wet here. Every time the ball hits in the outfield grass, it sends a stream of water. Not the most ideal playing conditions for anyone. He'd almost have to play in a game like this. It almost appears as though the Rams don't really want to be playing, especially down 8-1 right now. 1-1 the count. Joey brings the next one, swinging another foul, and he'll get ahead in the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You have to remember what that will do during this game. Having the wet ground, doubles may be turned into singles as balls that may be headed for the wall be slowed down by the turf out there. So if you're looking for an offensive onslaught, keep the ball in the park, it's going to be that much tougher for the Rams.
1-2 the count. Joey Smith brings it to Lesniak, swinging a base hit up the middle. Then he dives and can't come up with it as the trail of water flies once again. 11 base hits now in 3+ innings for the Shiloh Generals.
The Generals have only 1 home run after hitting several out of the park against South Gwinnett. Right now the Generals just punching at the ball there, just letting the bat beat the ball on the ground and just letting it get past the infielders for base hits. If you can do it that way, then certainly why not do it? 11 base hits, as you mentioned. And the interesting thing about that is only 3 of them for extra bases. Make that 4 of them for extra bases. Check that. 3 doubles and 1 home run.
The Ram pitching has gone sour in this game. Of course, the bats are completely silent also. Here's the first pitch to Chris Coker, the catcher, and that's upstairs for a ball. Again, a Ram pitcher ahead in the count. Served the fat one up, and Lesniak sent it up the middle. Joey Smith checks the runner at first. Here's the 1-0. Swinging, there's a shot down the first base line, diving out of the way of the first base coach for the Generals.
Swatted down to make sure he wouldn't be plunked with that one as it was hit out that way. And once again, a right-handed batter just trying to poke the ball to right field. You like the way the Generals are swinging the bat right now. Then George got his team into the playoffs, has to be very happy with this.
Here's the next one. Breaking ball stays high by Smith. 2-1 the count. Has not been easy at all for the Rams tonight in any phase of the game. Joey Smith, the fourth pitcher of the night already, and we're only in the fourth inning. And once again, whipping towards right field. The rain blowing across. 2-1 the count. Smith will bring it home. Break the ball way high again. 3-1 the count. Ryan Lesniak, the runner, leads from first. Smith will check and fire. Ball 4. Six base on balls. Pitching has given away, along with 11 base hits, 17 base runners. We're going to have a
Sutton is the pinch runner that you're about to mention, who's going in there for Coker for the second time in 2 innings. Joey Smith has been able to stay out there for the Newton Rams because he is one pitcher who's been able to stay away from the base on balls. Mentioned Rams have walked 6 tonight. That, though, is the first one for Joey Smith. Dustin Peck, who started this game, walked 4. And then the Rams' second pitcher, Kerry Gilstrap, put a man on base as well.
1 out. Runners lead from first and second. Joey Smith working to Michael Kelly. Here's the first one. Playing right back up at us, and scatters some. It's starting to rain harder now, Kevin. Still didn't knock that ball out of the screen, though.
Talk about a waterlogged baseball. That's been up there all day long, and you folks who've been listening, been watching this weather throughout the day, can picture the amount of rain that has fallen during the day.
Smith checks again, and fires. Swinging, there's a base hit. That should score a run as that ball will get all the way out to center field. And another runner's rounding second on his way to third. He's going to be out, and he is. What a throw by Kerry Gilstrap, and the third runner of the night for the Shiloh Generals, gunned on the base paths as Kerry Gilstrap, a one-hop shot to Ryan Moon at third base, and talk about being dead beat. The pinch runner didn't have a chance. He was out from me to you, Kevin.
Holden Sutton had no chance at all, had to basically tag himself out. Kerry Gilstrap, we knew about his arm in center field, but he continues to impress with every throw he makes. You can tell that it's a gifted athlete out there in center field. 1, the count to a hitter. Seemingly, and of course, only seems that way, I believe, Rams have thrown ball 1 to everybody tonight.
Appears to be pretty much that way, Kevin. Here's the 1-0. Take your base as Shane Nash is plugged. And he'll trot down to first base. That will be the 9th base runner of the night for the Shiloh Generals. One had to hurt his foot, him kind of in the left shoulder blade. He turned, and the ball appeared to run in on him.
Joey Smith throwing everything up high in the zone to Shane Nash, and he's reached base 4 times in his 4 plate appearances, 4 innings. So for the 4th time in 4 innings, here comes Michael Laird, who already has 3 base hits, including a home run.
Hits with runners at first and second. Joey Smith, 2 outs now. Checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, and Laird was bailing out on that one. Of course, after the last hitter takes one in the ribs, that tends to loosen you up a little bit.
He was watching that after Smith ran the ball inside. Smith has gotten kind of wild here these last couple of hitters, so that'll make you have a little happier feet there in the box, quicker feet to get out of there at least.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swinging foul back and out of play. 1-1 the count. Kevin, I don't know about you, but I'm glad for side here. That rain is falling, wind is blustering away again. Not even a good night to play football out there. It's just horrible. It's really a shame to play a baseball competition. 1-1 the count. That's will check. Here's the pitch, about 6 feet over the head. Lane Floyd goes up for the rebound and comes down with it.
Nice job there. Maybe wherever he goes to school, if he decides to go to college, maybe they should try to recruit him for a little basketball action. Definitely got his practice for it there. Joey Smith not able to grip the ball very well right now.
Checks and brings the next one home, and that's going to be ball 3, and Smith in danger of loading the bases. And looks like Coach Brassfield is going to leave Joey Smith in there for a while. Nobody warming up.
That may be the designated sacrificial lamb tonight.
3-1 the count. Here's the next one. Swing and a high, towering drive. The wind will hold this one up. Jarvis Johnson gets underneath it and squeezes it for the out, and mercifully this inning comes to a close. Shiloh does score another run on 2 base hits, and no Ram errors, and they leave 2 runners left on base. We're going to head now to the bottom of the 4th, and maybe Kevin Holden can bring a little luck to the Rams as he'll take over on play-by-play, but your score, not a good one. The Rams trail to Shiloh by a score of 9-1 on WGFS AM 1430. Brought to you in part by the fine folks at East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment. And welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field at South Gwinnett High School. It's the Region 8 Quad A Region Tournament, and Newton Rams trailing by a score of 9-1, here to try to get some runs for them. Kevin Holden with the play-by-play.
All right, Bill Dolan, thank you very much. Doyle Baker starts it off for the Newton Rams, followed by Kerry Gilstrap and then Bradley Dobbs. 6, 7, and 8 spots will try to do some damage, which damage has been done completely by the Generals first 3.5 innings of this affair. Tom Young fires in the first pitch outside, ball 1. Baker, the owner of the lone Newton Ram base hit tonight, a clean single to center field. Digs in, lefty against righty. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Baker takes a look at strike 1.
I'd like to say something on credit of the home plate umpire. That first pitch to Doyle did not call a strike. And in these conditions, a lot of times you see an umpire change the strike zone, but he's been fairly consistent so far.
That one outside, ball 2, with the 9-1 score. To call a fair game, as you mentioned, sometimes umpires have a tendency to put the long games like this. Rain blows a little bit harder. I think Doyle Baker got a little of that in his eye. Missed here, settling in. Tom Young takes a look in. The 2-1 pitch is on the way home to Baker. Here it is. Low and inside, ball 3. You aren't helping the time of the game if you're a Shiloh General pitcher with an 8-run lead, running a 3-ball count to a leadoff man.
Basically all, I'm sure Coach Glenn George wants Young to go out there and throw strikes. The Rams haven't hit the ball very well already, so why put him on base with the walk?
Young has walked 3 and struck out 4. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Baker takes a swing at one and drives it deep to left field. That one is going to stay in the ballpark, but bounce off the wall around first as Baker heads for second. A good start here to the 4th inning for the Rams. Baker, pardon me, got one up into the ninth there, and the ninth missed. Got it for a double.
Kevin, I'll tell you what, the last 2 nights, that ball would have jumped out of here. In fact, when he first hit it, I thought it was going to go, and it didn't even hit the wall on the fly. It landed on the track. Doyle turned on it, really drilled it, but the air very heavy now with the rain, and see the way it's blowing, that ball just held up by the rain, but the Rams with the leadoff hitter on.
Now the 7, 8, and 9 hitters will try to push at least that first one across. Started off with Kerry Gilstrap. Gilstrap drawing the free pass last time up. Chris Coker gives the signal, first pitch on the way home. Gilstrap, it's inside and low, ball 1. Tom Young exhaling in disgust. He's unable to throw strikes here.
Kerry Gilstrap struggling with the bat. I'd like to see him get going again before all these playoffs are over.
It's still blowing hard toward the right center field side. Gilstrap swings, bounces one toward the shortstop, gets eaten up, and it's past him. Around third is Baker. He is going to score. Gilstrap held up at first base, and the Rams have their second run across, and Baker greeted by his teammates as that's, we'll call it a glimmer of hope there off the bat of Kerry Gilstrap.
And the shortstop just never came up with it at all. I think he was, once again, just like his second base counterpart in the previous inning, he was thinking of fielding the ball and going to third base. Big mistake with an 8-run lead. You don't even want to think of throwing to third. Field that ball and throw to first. And had he done that in this case, there'd be one out instead. The Rams with a run home and a runner at first base and nobody out.
Of course, the weather conditions, the wet conditions, probably didn't help out Robbie Odell. That one got past, so it's 9-2 and another unearned run. Rams take them earned or unearned. So count. No strap at first base. Here's Bradley Dobbs. Dobbs taking a look at strike one on the outside corner. He bounced out to first base last time. Bradley Dobbs all smiles after last night's game, driving a 2-run home run. Helping cement victory of the Rams last night over the after that Comet. That's like a week ago right now. Go to first base. No strap is back in.
That certainly seems like a different team because the Rams playing nowhere near that way tonight as last.
That's beat at first base, so Young will watch him. Comes home. Dobbs wasn't sure whether or not he wanted to swing at that. Took a half-hearted cut. Comes up short at 0-2.
That may have been one of the weaker swings that Dobbs come up with. Pulled badly and kind of half-committed. That's one thing you hate. If you're going to swing, go for it. Otherwise, pull it back.
Snap go to first base. Those traps to be back in diving. Uniform dirty. Lots of dirty uniforms tonight.
Well, look at it blowing down, Kevin. If Bradley coming up into right center field, it'd fly out of here.
0-2 pitch. He takes one and drives it deep to left field. It'll be a foul ball. That one way up into the night. Bradley Dobbs, like Doyle Baker, turning on the ball and hitting it very high up in the air to left.
See how short that ball actually landed? He first hit it, it looked like it almost had home run distance. The ball's 40 feet short. Picked that up in that wind and just died. It almost came back onto the field of play, in fact.
Makes you wonder what kind of a crosswind might be blowing up there.
Look at the rain blowing across. That'll give you a pretty good insight.
Pitch to Dobbs is up high at ball one, but in addition to the wind blowing left to right, out beyond the fence in left field, maybe blowing in just a little bit, as mentioned, the ball falling well short. What would be the 310 sign out there in left field?
Well, same with Doyle's ball. When he first hit it, that ball, previous 2 nights, is out of here easy, but goes nowhere tonight.
1-2, Dobbs staying alive, gets a piece of it, fouls it off. Nobody out. Rams have come across with a run, but trailed 9-2. Have failed to put a goose egg on the general side of the scoreboard yet. Shiloh has scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 more in the third, and a single run in the fourth.
Kevin, you feel like for the Rams to have a chance to really probably get about 4 in this game. They cut the lead about 9-5. Like maybe they start to come alive a little bit more.
9-5 back score against the Rams in the 6th last night. Pitch to Dobbs is high and tight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Brasfield going through his set of signals. Third base coach was displeased with the way his team has played in the first half of this game. Stanley Allen in the house down at first base.
House and the house. Wet spot starting to show up on the field, Kevin. But they might not go a full 7 innings. You have to worry about that. The Rams take advantage of everything.
The Rams cannot rally. There will be a 1-game championship played Monday on this field, and of course we'll be here live for it. Although if you're in the position of the Newton Rams, you have to feel like momentum will be in the Shiloh Generals' corner after what has taken place here tonight. The Rams coming in as the undefeated team, Shiloh with 1 loss. Bradley Dobbs, a count of 2-2. Tom Young looking at first, the 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Gilstrap heads up, as if that ball had gotten past Coker, he would have been taking off, but it did not. 3-2.
Good at bat for Bradley Dobbs to battle back from an Ocean County very weak swing to go 0-2, and then Collins tough gets off, and then take some balls, has worked the count full. Rams need base runners any way they can get them right.
On deck, Brandon Smith. 3-2 pitch is on the way, and that one is driven deep to left field. Forget about it. For the 2nd time in 2 nights, Bradley Dobbs has left the yard. He has played 4 varsity baseball games. He has 2 home runs to his credit. Another 2 RBI, and this is a 9-4 ball game, and some life may be returning to this Newton Ram team.
Look, Kevin, we said we needed to get it to 9-5. That's it's closer.
Bradley Dobbs hit that ball a mile into the South Gwinnett night. Way up there. I don't even know if that might have cleared the net there in left center. Didn't see the ball come back.
I thought it did hit right in the top of the net. Of course, I was a little worried when he first hit it just because of the way some of the other balls have done it, but that ball, he got every bit of it. And what an at-bat by the youngster. After falling behind 0-2, battling to get it back, and then Tom Young probably making the worst pitch he's made of the night, tried to just get too good with it. Bradley Dobbs, and Bradley spanked.
You've got to figure that Joe Brassfield now has his DH probably from this point forward. The Rams had some trouble at the DH spot this year. Couldn't find anyone that filled that role on an everyday basis. Now I believe they may have found their man at Bradley Dobbs. 2-run shot. Here's Brandon Smith. Young Wines brings the first one home. The Rams' second baseman and misses inside. Now a 3-run fourth inning. Makes this a 5-run game. Still a long way to go, but maybe not quite as far. Rams, of course, if they do rally, can end this tournament tonight, play in a region championship game, and then in the state tournament. They're assured of making it if they can win this tournament, regardless of what happens in the region championship. 1-0 pitch is outside.
Once again, umpire not calling the pitch outside of the strike zone. I mean, we badmouth them when they make mistakes, but I want to compliment this umpire on the job he's doing.
2-0. Coker gives the signal. Young winds and deals. Smith pops one up right behind us. Foul. 2-1.
And it's a good series so far. And in fact, walked first bat, came around to score, so continues his good effort in the series.
571 average for the tournament. 2-1 pitch. Swings and pops this one up. Coker takes a look at it. Bounce just behind us. And out of play almost the same spot as the previous foul ball. 2-2. Rams team came into this game with a 409 average at the 2 games of this tournament. 24 runs scored.
Only 3 hits in this ball so far. 2 of them by Doyle Baker, the other by Bradley Dobbs. And Doyle, who has been struggling a little bit, really hit the ball well. Bradley, of course, with that long home run.
2-2 pitch in the dirt. Ball 3. Looked like he tried to throw the curveball, but snapped it off either a little bit too much or a bad release point from the left-hander. Doyle Baker came into this game hitting 143, second lowest among all the Ram hitters. He has made that now a 333 average with his 2 hits. 3-2 pitch. Umpire came back and thought about calling it strike 3, but did not. It's ball 4. Tom Young facing away from home plate and maybe had a few words to say that he didn't want to say directly to the home plate umpire there. He thought he had strike 3.
And Shiloh Generals have someone warming up in the bullpen. He's wearing a jacket, so we can't see a number. We're not sure who it is, Kevin. And Tom Young appears to have run out of gas here.
Threw a lot of pitches. Now remember that Young has walked 4. He has struck out 4. When you have a pitcher with a lot of walks and strikeouts, of course that wastes a lot of pitches. Rams took him deep into counts. Bradley Dobbs hit a 3-2 pitch over the wall. But they're going to stay with Young. Then George with a few words of encouragement for the left-hander. Be facing lefty Jarvis Johnson, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Lefty Tom Young has handled left-handed batters Johnson and Floyd pretty well.
Looked like Ryan Lesniak prepared to go into the game. It looked like they were going to make some kind of change, but evidently they've changed their mind. They're positioning the outfielders. Got 4, Kevin. We need to get at least 5. I'd actually wouldn't mind getting 6 or 7.
Got the chance to do it. Top of the order up. Still nobody out in this inning. Leading away from first base is Brandon Smith. Jarvis Johnson taking one up high. Is any lead safe? Tournament.
Well, particularly under weather conditions like these. And now how big is that run that the Rams gave up the last inning to go to 9? Every run that when you're losing is major. Rams get run.
That pitch outside, ball 2. So Young still can't throw the strikes, but that time around, Brandon Smith was headed back to first base on Young's throw home, so he was obviously fooled by the motion of the pitcher.
And it's good at that, throwing the base on balls, going to the patient.
Lefty versus lefty, the 2-0 pitch, way up high, ball 3. Tom Young nearly slipping off the mound there. In fact, he may have hurt himself. Chris Coker will have a discussion with him, and time will be called. They're going to check on Tom Young. He is pawing around at the mound, which probably means he didn't get his front foot planted down very well, may have hurt himself.
Appears as though he might have jarred his back a little bit the way he hit. Once again, Kevin, the conditions like really hate to have to play ball on it. Really hate when a team makes it this far that the weather can end up being an influence in the game.
It's been an influence in several different things tonight, there's no doubt about that. And this time around, the weather may have cost the left-hander Tom Young. Taking a look, and two umpires are there gathered around the mound taking a look at it. And they're going to call to the South Gwinnett grounds crew here. I think the coaching staff kind of doubling as grounds crew as they do at most high schools. They're going to do a little bit of mound work. While they do, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, here's the situation. Brandon Smith will be at first base. Nobody out in the fourth inning. With your score 9-4, the Shiloh Generals on top of the Newton Rams, but the Rams in the midst of a rally. And Bill, I'll tell you what, you wanted something to ice down a rally. You'd hate to have something like this happen.
Yeah, really. And Rams with the momentum going, and it looks like this could slow it down a little bit. You wonder how long they're going to keep going. I mean, look down the third baseline, Kevin, the wet spot there, also down the first baseline. I don't want to see any of these kids get hurt out here.
We hope they won't, but we do hope that see something from the Newton Ram bats when we come back right after this. Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430. We're brought to you in part tonight by East Metro Communications. They have been a cellular agent for 10 years. Makes them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agents.
And Coast.
We're back from John B. Sawyer Field in Snellville, Georgia. Tom Young throws strike one after the mound work done by the South Gwinnett grounds crew as they throw a little extra dirt down there. Stretch and a 3-1 pitch. That's outside, ball four, so the extra dirt did not help Young there as he passes Jarvis Johnson, and that's two men on now for the Rams. Still no one out. Ryan Moon coming to the plate, and Bill, perhaps Rams in this nasty weather can mount a rally.
And now I think we're going to see a pitching change. This is his second visit to the mound, correct?
I believe so.
Yes, he did come out earlier and talk. That's good for Tom Young, and actually, I think I kind of feel pretty good about that. Had handcuffed Rams early on.
This has been 1 year, Bill, in which the Rams have faced very, very few left-handed pitchers. So when playoff time has come, it's kind of tough for the Rams to hit those left-handers. They won't have to worry about it this time, though. A right-hander takes the hill for the Generals. We'll tell you who he is, any other Shiloh General changes, and we'll also have the rest of the fourth inning coming up here on WGFS AM 1430. Ram Baseball, and it's brought to you by East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
And welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field at South Gwinnett High School. Newton Rams trying to mount a rally. They've played at 3 in the bottom of the fourth. They have runners at first and second, still nobody out. Ryan Moon, the senior third baseman, about to hit. Here to tell you about it, and the new pitcher for the Shiloh Generals is Kevin Holden.
All right, Bill Dolan, the new pitcher for the Generals is Jonathan Craig. Craig listed in the program here as a sophomore, the right-hander. Big for someone at 10th grader's age, making his warm-up tosses. Rams remember this young man from the game up at Shiloh High School that Newton won 10-0. Jonathan Craig didn't last out of the first inning in that game as the Rams were very patient with him. What they did with Craig at Shiloh High School was to make him throw strikes with his fastball. There's a lot of fastballs that tries to get you to chase pitches up, high fastballs, and pitches out of the zone outside. The Rams were very patient, drew some bases on balls, and then hit some balls hard. Terry Gilstrap hit a big home run off of Craig, so perhaps if they get to Gilstrap's spot in the order, you might want to watch for that. Meanwhile, Ryan Moon will step in first and second, no one out. Rams do still trail in this by 5 and still only have 3 base hits. First pitch, strike call right down the pipe, 0-1. For somebody to throw strike.
So the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning was an inning early. Bradley Dowes would have won some hot wings for someone in this inning. Can't give them away for anything, Kevin.
But we don't need to pick the right inning. Homers are being hit all around the wing-ding inning. 0-1 pitch, again a strike. Craig just putting the ball over the plate. Boone, who took strike 3 last time, takes strike 1 and 2 this time.
That was a curveball, and Plug unable to pull the trigger on it.
That's leading away from second. Jarvis Johnson is the runner at first. The 0-2 pitch is on the way, and it's popped up in foul territory, first base side. Michael Kelly chase after it. It will bounce just shy of the fence down the first base line. Now remains 0-2. Tom Young going 3 innings, facing 19 batters, giving up so far 4 runs. 2 of them earned on 3 hits. Young in the game walked 5 and struck out 4, including walking the last 2 batters. That's what got him pulled out of this game.
Kevin, if Buck do anything here, you'd like to be able to move the runners over to second or put them into scoring position. Big runs right here. Rams still down by 5.
You wait. The 0-2 not to his way. Went blowing out hard to right field. That one almost hit Moon inside, bending backwards. Coker bringing up out of his catcher stance to get that ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 9 runs, 12 hits for the General. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Rams.
And really whipped the flagpole, bending out straight away. Center flags getting straight out.
And with power to that side is Matt Easterday. He's on deck. 1-2, again high and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's great. Trying to chase the pitch up high.
Easterday coming up after Moon with power to right center field. Then you've got Lane Floyd coming up after him with power to all field.
Bases on balls by the Generals. They come back to haunt them here. They had a 9-1 lead at one point. 2-2 pitch. High again to Moon. It's a full count, 3-2. Credit the senior. Good eye at home plate. Not being over-aggressive. Taking 3 straight balls after he got down 0-2.
Well, like you said, Jonathan Craig likes to throw hard and it's a little wild, and Moon's doing a good job of playing off of that high cheese, because that's something the Rams usually do a pretty good job at, staying away from that high take to the ball. Walk here by Moon to load him up for Easterday certainly wouldn't hurt. Like I said, I think it's so important that the Rams get at least 1 more, maybe 2 in this inning. Of course, I'd settle for 5 or 6. Too.
Absolutely. Rams really could get back into this with that kind of inning. Happy, of course, that the Rams have been able to put 3 across so far, but have to be almost disappointed if they can't add to this here, having put 3 across, but with 2 men on, the heart of the order coming up, and still no one out of this inning.
The wind definitely blowing out.
Moon will dig back in.
Must have that Young out of there. Well, so this
time is called.
As opposed to some of the quick games, this one may go down as one of the longest.
Weather like this, to drag it on is make it that much more unbearable for the fans watching tonight. 3-2 high, ball 4. Ryan Moon, a tremendous at bat, and the bases are loaded. Craig has come in and walked the leadoff man. Ryan Moon, the bases now jammed with Rams. Matt Easterday with a chance to step to the plate. Last time he was up in a, quote, crucial kind of situation, he parked the ball over the fence in left center field.
Matt likes this kind of pressure. He likes it on the basketball court. He was the one that wanted the ball when the game was on the line. He likes this position. The guy I think he can hit, Kevin. I can hit a good fastball.
Jonathan Craig from the stretch comes home. The ball gets away from the catcher, Coker. Here comes Smith. The throw gets away, so that run will score. Jarvis Johnson thought about coming across, but decided not to. He stops at third. It's 9-5. That pitch got away from Coker, and that wasn't that far inside. I think it bounced off the mitt of the Shiloh catcher.
More of a pass ball than a wild pitch. I think he was crossed up a little bit. And, well, there's the 5th run we talked about, Kevin, but now still nobody out. Runners at second and third. And that changes everything around, too, because there's no forces in effect. The double play's definitely gone. And the base hit here by Matt Easterday, and the Rams could definitely be right back in this ballgame.
And it hurts nothing that first base is open. Would you dare pass Matt Easterday and face Lane Floyd?
I think you'd have to be crazy to do that the way Lane Floyd has hit the ball in this series so far.
I think that means that Easterday can look for some pitches to drive. Jonathan Craig, who's come in and walked the leadoff man, now a pass ball by Coker. 2 men in scoring position. Craig takes a long time, and Easterday will step out. Generals taking their sweet time here in the 4th inning.
Your Coach Bill Brass, if Matt swings on, I think has to
look for a pitch to drive. See a fastball in your zone, you go for it. Stretch. A 1-0 pitch, fastball. Yesterday thought it to be in his zone. Came up short at 1-1.
Ball had a little movement on it, kind of came in on him, and I think it's that a little bit. Originally starting out in that area where you're talking about his zone, he was not able to catch up.
Your shortstop 0 for 2. He did reach on an error by second baseman Chris Vader last time. Takes a look at a 1-1 right over the plate, making 1 and 2. Looks like a good pitch to drive there to Easterday. He's in the hole now.
Once again, a very important situation for the Rams to get to that fifth run, which would like to get it inside of that now. Particularly second and third, nobody out. You've got to get the runners home if you're going to win the ball.
Jarvis Johnson away from third. Ryan moved out at second, takes his lead. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, and that falls in low. Evens it up. Balls 2 strikes. Easterday is the 7th man to bat in this inning. Shiloh has not retired a Ram hitter yet in this inning. Baker started with the double. Then the error by shortstop Robbie Odell brought him across. Gilstrap was at first. Bradley Dobbs drove 1 deep. And hard to believe that was in this half inning.
Seems hours ago.
Probably was hours ago, actually, the way it's been. 2-2 pitch is due Easterday. Here it is. Swings and bounces one toward the shortstop. Going to be a tough play for Odell. Thought about going to third, and that delay will cost him at first base. Matt Easterday, a base hit. Jarvis Johnson comes across. It's 9-6, and the tying run coming to the plate in the person of 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, Lane Floyd.
I think Kevner's double day had anything to do with this, Kevin? Who better would you want to come up to the plate, put the game on the line, and the tying run, the guy who has seen the ball better than anybody, in fact, commented that the ball looked like a basketball to him last night.
It is Floyd stepping in with first and third. Stretch first pitch to him, swung on and popped him up. Third base side foul territory. Michael Laird makes the play in foul territory. So the Rams had to feel great about their chances there, but Floyd pops the first pitch up. I was just about to make the comment. You were mentioning baseball and having the man up in the situation like that. Baseball is the one game where you can't guarantee that. In basketball, for example, you can put the ball in the hands of your best shooter with a couple of seconds left. Football, you can look for a particular receiver, but in baseball, there is no guarantee that you can have your cleanup man up in a situation like that. So when it happens, it makes it that much sweeter. The unfortunate thing is Floyd could not capitalize. So it will be up to Hires and Baker. Steven Hires, 0 for 2.
Had a good series coming into the game. Base hit here would be final for the Rams.
Swings and one, bounces it towards shortstop, cutting across. The third baseman gets past the shortstop. A run will score. Hires safe at first base, avoids the puddle just beyond the first base bag. It's now 9-7. A 6-run so far. 4th inning by the Newton Rams. And what started out as a game that looked to decimate this Newton Ram team as they were down by 8 has become a 2-run ball game.
A tough call there, Kevin. I think they should have gotten one out somewhere, so I think you pretty much have to call that an error on the play.
10th man to hit now in the inning is Doyle Baker. Still only 1 out. He swings and misses at the curveball from Craig. 0-1, a curveball on the first pitch.
Doyle may be the one Ram that was sorry to see Tom Young leave the game. He was 2 for 2 against him early on. Chance to go 3 for 3, and the Rams even a run closer.
Shiloh now unable to stop the bleeding. The 0-1 pitch to Baker is belted over by Kerry Gilstrap, who skipped the rope. And a ball hit like that, your jump is about a half second too late. The ball had hit the fence by the time Gilstrap was jumping over it. Baker scattered some Rams there.
Kevin, as the Rams get closer in this game and get a little later in the game, now you can look maybe for Jeremy Johnson to come back. It would be great to see the Rams get another run or two and be able to use Jeremy. Joey Smith has done admirably so far. By far the best outing of any of the Ram pitchers so far.
Stretching the pitch to Baker. In the dirt, he gets away from Coker. Here go the runners. They'll move up 90 feet. Again, the force play taken off, and the heads-up base running leaves the tying run now at second base. Still only 1 out.
That hit gets way out in front of the plate. didn't bounce very far away at Easter.
Forget, after 8 very memorable innings last night. Scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. 3 hours and 5 minutes after the scheduled starting time, we're in the 4th inning. 16 hits, 16 runs between these two teams. Baker takes another one inside, ball 2.
Lee Doyle's been hitting the ball today. You'd like to get a pitch up in the zone that he could drive and bring these runs home and tie it up real quick.
Matt Easterday away from third. Stephen Hires taking his lead away from second. Craig delivers, and it's low, ball 3. First base is open. Harry Gilstrap on deck, as we mentioned, had his way. With Jonathan Craig up at Shiloh High School driving a ball, and remember, Shiloh is about 380 to center field, but he drove a ball over that mark in center for the home run.
It appears as though Mr. Momentum has changed dugouts momentarily.
3-2 pitch. Baker bounces out in front of the plate. They take a look at the runners, freeze them, go to first base for out number 2. Smart play by Jonathan Craig, the sophomore. It will be up to Kerry Gilstrap to see if he can continue this rally. 2 down in what has been a momentous 4th inning for the Rams.
That's a tough break for the Rams there. That ball going right back to the pitcher. Jammed right on the fist of Doyle Baker, and all he was able to do was weakly ground it back to the pitcher. Now it's going to take a 2-out base hit from Gary or perhaps another wild pitch.
Rams will take it any way they can get it. They have been playing kind of ugly baseball tonight. 4 hits only, but 7 runs. 3 walks by the Generals in this inning, a pair of errors, all of which have led to various Newton Ram runs. Shiloh now with 3 errors in this game. Gilstrap set. Here's Craig with the first offering his way, off the outside corner with the fastball.
It couldn't have missed by an inch or two.
Shiloh fans raising a ruckus down the third base side. Bleachers here at Alphabet High School, plenty of seating for everybody. So if there are already more games played in this tournament, you definitely want to come out here. We've got a seat for you.
Bradley Dobbs waiting on deck. Like that youngster get a chance to swing.
1-0 is low. 2-0, that seat may be on the pitcher's mound if you're in the position of Glenn George or Joe Brassfield. No one in the house being able to throw strikes right now. Gilstrap, the sophomore, 0 for 1. He has scored a run, reached on an error. He's also received a base on balls his first trip up. First time he's faced Craig, the 2-0. On the way, outside, ball 3. Bradley Dobbs, who earlier in this inning hit a 2-run homer, may have a chance to come up again. This time around, the bag jammed with Rams. Stoker will give the signal. Have a feeling big sign might be on. Stretch in the 3-0. Gilstrap watches. Ball 4. And again, very close to the outside corner. If that had been called strike 1, you probably would not have seen protest from the Newton Rams.
I don't think you would have heard a thing from anyone that time. This umpire is not giving a centimeter on that outside part of the plate right now. Of course, with all the pitchers being as wild as they are, he's making them earn that right to call that pitch. No one has. None. Not a single pitcher tonight has consistently thrown strikes. And we're going to get a pitching change once again, Kevin. And we'll be back and tell the folks about it right after we hear from our sponsors on your local leader for sports, WGFS, AM 1430. Brought in part today by East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular, paging, and two-way radio equipment. And welcome back to John D. Sawyer Field at South Gwinnett High School on a rainy, cold, nasty evening. And here with a pitching change for the Shiloh Generals, Kevin Holden.
You forgot to mention grotesquely long is what this evening has become. 9-7 in the 4th inning. 2 outs, bases loaded. Bradley Dobbs, who has already hit 1 home run in this inning, get a chance to accomplish an extremely rare feat. We don't have the history books on this, but I don't know. There probably aren't that many Newton Ram players who've hit 2 in an inning, Bill.
No, we haven't had that many home runs hit, period, so 2 in a game, much less 2 in an inning.
First pitch inside to him, ball one. Michael Laird, the new pitcher for the Shiloh Generals, he came in and pitched very effectively against the Rams. Riverside Park in the game that the Newton ended up winning 4-3, but it was not Laird's fault. He took the loss, but it was the fault of his defense. Dobbs swinging a miss on a fastball. 1-1 probably would have been ball two.
Bradley appeared to be a little bit over anxious. That looked like it was in on his hands. I'm really surprised he swung at it. Got to make to throw a strike first.
Tying run is at second. The bases right now loaded 2-1 as the 1-1 pitch sails outside. Runner at first base is Gilstrap. At second is Hires. At third is Easterday. You got two seniors and a sophomore on the base paths and another youngster at the plate who has certainly made his impression in this tournament, looking to do so yet again. Laird to the belt. He delivers. It's past Coker to the screen. Here comes Easterday, and he will be safe standing up. A one-run ball game now, and a 3-1 count to Bradley Dobbs, and the Shiloh Generals have literally fallen apart here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The seventh run of the inning for the Rams.
I guess we just needed to make a change, Kevin. I guess I didn't have it tonight. When I turned it over to you, you've got things going for us.
I will take absolutely no credit for what has taken place on this field right now. Absolutely none. If I was out there, Rams would be in serious trouble. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count to Bradley Dobbs. This Newton Ram team did not quit when they were down 8 runs, 9-1. They have battled back, not over the course of several innings, but over the course of 2/3 of 1 inning. 3-1 count on the way. The fastball, and it's hit up high to center field. Could be trouble for Keeler out there. He parks himself under it. He makes the catch, and that's out number 3. So Shiloh escapes the fourth inning with the lead, but just barely, as the Newton Rams have one of their most productive innings in a long time. 7 runs on 3, and that is not a typo, 3 base hits. Shiloh committed 2 errors, a slew of walks, and a couple of wild pitches, also leading to the Newton Rams putting runs across. Rams left, 2 men on base. We have played 4 full from John B. Sawyer Field in Snellville, Georgia. Your score is now 9-8. The Shiloh Generals lead the Newton Rams. Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430 is brought to you by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular and your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
Welcome back to playoff action. The Newton Rams, with a touchdown and the extra point in the bottom of the fourth inning, have cut an 8-run deficit to 1 run. They trail only 9-8 as we head to the 5th inning. And here to tell you all about it, Kevin Holden.
To say that there is new life in this Newton Rams team is to call Rush Limbaugh conservative. 7 runs for the Rams in the 4th inning. A 1-run ball game, practically a new ball game here. Joey Smith, who spent ever so much time in that Newton Ram dugout watching his teammates cross home plate again and again, will now have to come back out and throw strikes in a freezing evening here at John B. Sawyer Field, with the rain blowing from left to right, the mist, the wind throughout the evening, and it has not gone away.
Of course, the Rams with a chance to actually get the forehead runners to 2nd and 3rd. Bradley Dobbs just got underneath one, driving it to right center. Wouldn't have hit it quite so high. It might have hit it. The wind definitely was blowing out that way. Now it appears the flag is drooping down, but if you look at the rain, it's still continuing to blow. There's, like you mentioned earlier, Kevin, a lot of crosswinds and everything. The ground crew out once again trying to protect the field. We're just about into a legal game now. We're in the 5th inning, so if we get through this one, then anything can happen after that as far as umpires decide to call.
You get paid by the hour? If you do, you're going to be, we're both going to be rich. Well, actually, I'm not paid by the hour, so you'll be a rich man tonight.
Well, no, I'm actually by the game.
No. Can we count this as more than 1 game?
It sure seems like it, doesn't it? Well, we went extra innings last time. Of course, that made up for going short the night before, I guess.
So the game Friday made up for the game Thursday. So what about tonight? Still haven't covered that.
I don't know. Hope Joey Smith throws some strikes.
First man he'll try to throw strikes to is Robbie Odell, followed by William Keeler and then Eric Matt. Middle of the order, 3, 4, and 5. There's a strike on the first pitch to Odell, who has struck out twice and beats on a fielder's choice.
Joey can get through this inning. You got to feel good about the Rams. You can't get Jeremy to come in and only have to worry about points.
Wait, sets, go one, outside, ball one.
Once again, that umpire not giving anything off the plate at all now.
Now the 1-1 offering. It's a curveball and it stays up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Taking a look at Jeremy Johnson against the Shiloh Generals. We'll give you that line in just a moment. They've seen him twice this year. 2-1 to Odell. One pitch has popped up right behind his foul, makes 2-2. Johnson pitched just over an inning against the Generals of that Terrence Field at Shiloh High School. He was hit in the leg by a line drive and had to be pulled out, but did not allow a run or a hit in that inning. Plus, he also pitched in the game played at Riverside Park, an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, no run. The 2-2. The third, ball 3. Floyd, good stop. Now a full count. A crucial pitch. Don't want to put the leadoff man on base here for the Generals, who were up by only a run, and will, of course, try any way to get that runner, advance him, and try to get him across the plate.
Now, the momentum switching the way to the Rams. They do not want to let Generals score anything.
2 pitch, high, ball 4. Joey Smith walks his second man. That is the 13th walk from these two teams combined. We've played just over 4 innings here. 16 base hits and a slew of walks. A couple people hit by pitches, errors, 3 of those tonight.
That explains why the game is lasting more than a week.
It certainly does feel that way. We were slated for a 7 o'clock starting time, started around 8. We're about 2 hours and 20 minutes into this game, perhaps a bit more than that actually, only in the 5th. This goes the full way, at least a 3-hour affair more than likely. Their money's worth out of it, no doubt about that. Stretch and first pitch, swung on it, bounced on a hop, could be a double play ball. 6 to 4 to 3, double play. Easter Day to Smith to Hires, 2 down, and that's a momentum builder for the Rams, who, as you mentioned, Bill, needed big bow on their side.
And Pat Easterday pumped up like the senior leader that he is. But they had something once again on that tail end of that double play. Stephen Hires with a big threat. That pitch, that throw from Fitty down a little low, and Stephen coming up with it, keeping his foot on the base, and gets a call from the umpire at first pitch.
Now Eric Mathis. Mathis 0 for 2 with a walk. He's been working him away with virtually every pitch tonight. See how Smith works it this time. Line to the first pitch, it's away, off the glove of Floyd, back to the screen. 1 ball, no strikes, and only 1 at bat against Joey Smith. Mathis hit a fly ball to right field that was caught in the 3rd inning.
That double play for the Rams, so that once again momentum on the side.
Here's in. 1-0 pitch is up high, ball 2. Joey Smith, after not very much at all for the Rams during the regular season, probably not a single game during the region schedule, now thrust into action here in the tournament. Smith picked up some action early in the South Metro tournament. 2-0 pitch, way high, ball 3. Joe Brassfield keeping a watchful eye on Jeremy Johnson, who's heating up the Newton Ram bullpen. And how ready Johnson is may determine how long Joey Smith stays in this game. 1-run lead. Quick hook may be in effect yet again.
Kevin, has any batter gone up there and not got a 3-ball count on them tonight?
I can't remember the first couple of innings. Couldn't tell you. Wind at the 3-0 pitch. Right called, inside corner, make it 3-1. Memory doesn't go that far back. But again with the signal. Mathis awaits the 3-1. Takes it for strike 2 on the inside corner. Joey Smith battles back here. The 3-0 count.
Same pitch, same location, same result, and unable to pull the trigger.
Joey Smith, get out of this 5th inning here. There's a swing and a line drive. That'll be a base hit. Could be more into the left center field gap. This one's all the way to the wall. Mathis will have at least 2. He will hold up there as Gilstrap quickly gets the ball in. It's a double for Eric Mathis. And an insurance run at second base with 2 outs. Joe Brassfield The trot on the way out to the mound, and this will be all for Joey Smith. Jeremy Thompson, the designated Newton Ram closer early in the year, put back into that role over the last 2 games. Back again, Bill Dolan.
Well, we were hoping that Joey could get through this inning and Jeremy would only have to go 2 innings, but hopefully he can hold it here. That's a run you don't want to let score from down at second base, but in the meanwhile, while he warms up and the Rams make a change, we'll take a break and hear from our sponsors on WGFS AM 1430. This broadcast made possible by the fine folks at Metro Communications, who were selected as Airset Cellular's Agent of the Year in the small market category, the 4th time East Metro Communication has received this award. And welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field, South Gwinnett High School, playoff action with the Rams. And Jeremy Johnson makes his way into the ball game. Here with the play-by-play and hopefully the 3rd out of this inning, Kevin Holden.
All right, Bill Dolan, Jeremy Johnson in a situation with a runner at second and 2 down. The Rams lead right now by 1. Joe Brassfield wanting to make sure that runner at second base coming across. Chris Vader, first man up to face Jeremy Johnson. First pitch. Don't know exactly where it missed, but it did. 1 ball, no strike.
I'll tell you, if he's not going to give that low strike to Jeremy could trouble.
1-0 pitch is on the way, and that one peeling inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Vader. Lesniak is on deck. He has been perfect tonight. 2 for 2 with a walk and a pair of runs scored. Stretch by Johnson. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Took a big cut. Low change up for Johnson.
Joe Brassfield calling on Jeremy Johnson. This is a 1-run ball game. Rams only trailing by 1 after trailing by 8.
That pitch, again, very close, perhaps an inch or 2 high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Chris Vader. And Rams here down and out. Jeremy Johnson now in, and that shows new life has been breathed into this club. 3-1 pitch. That one's bounced over the second baseman's head. Base hit into center field. They're going to wave the runner. Gilstrap's throw is cut off by Stephen Hires, and a 10-8 score now. The base hit from Vader pushes across an insurance run for the General.
And that's a big run coming across because, once again, we talk about the momentum swinging around, and Jeremy got behind in the count and had to come up with it. Wasn't getting that call on those close pitches. He had to make one a little too good, and the ball not hit that hard by Chris Vader, but just kind of served over second baseman's head into right field, and no chance to get the runner at the plate.
Ryan Lesniak now will come to the plate. Much Peter at first base. Brings home the first one inside, nearly hits Lesniak. 1 ball, no strikes. But Jeremy Johnson just not throwing strikes, he is getting infectious.
I'll tell you, this game may never end.
Boy, take a look at Joe Brassfield. Get ready. There's the signal to Jeremy Johnson, who brings home the 1-0. It's up high. Ball 2. Took over. I promised to run. I didn't think to bring this game to an absolute standstill to do it.
That was about, what, 3 hours ago?
In the overtime on the air here this evening. For the first base, runner is back. Behind 2-0, needing to concentrate on getting a 3rd out and throwing the ball to first base.
Maybe they're getting paid by the hour.
Stretch, 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. A flat tap in the press box south at high school.
Weather continues worse, too. Really hate the ball behind him farther because it may not go up.
3-0 pitch. There's a strike. 3-1 around the outside corner. Jeremy Johnson give up the hit to Vader. Shiloh Generals their 10th run. Booker on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Johnson. Oh, ball 4. Another base on balls. This Newton Ram team. Right now, Joe Brassfield looking out to his pitcher and literally pleading with him, please throw strikes. You do, you have the advantage over everybody else in the house tonight.
How many is it?
I need to take a commercial break while I count the number of walks. I've been given up 8 just on the Newton Ram side of things. That's how many walks they've given up to the Generals this evening. Shiloh, their own accord, given up 7 walks to the Newton Rams, 15 in 4.5 innings. St. Floyd, a nice stop, backhanding, ball in the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes to Chris Coker.
And no one throw a strike. Of course, the field conditions have just got to really be into that. It's cold, wind is blowing, raining.
1-0 pitch. There's a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Folks here in the press box want to just keep the scoreboard kind of permanently marked at 3 balls and let the pitcher kind of catch up to them. Hitter at second, Lesniak at first, 2 down in the 5th. The stretch, the 1-1 pitch. By much, a little bit low, 2-1. That third out. 2-1 pitch, off speed, that one missing high, 3-1. Michael Kelly, who had nothing but singles across the board, stands on deck circle. Another 3-ball count.
I think that's the rule. You have 3 balls batting.
2-1 pitch. Missing outside, ball 4, and another man reaches base. As Jeremy Johnson has passed the last 2, the 9th walk by the Newton Rams as a team. Joe Brassfield talks to the home plate umpire. They want to go out and have a discussion with Johnson. And the home plate umpire will talk to him in a moment. If the pitcher's okay, there is a courtesy runner at first base. Colin Sutton gets into this madness. Down there at first. Michael Kelly will be the hitter.
Look out, the field's starting to get really sloppy now, and it's just the same. This game is too close now for the field to come and play. You know, early on when it was a blowout, but suddenly
the man who hit into the double play is William Keeler. He's back up. He may be responsible for all 3 outs of an inning. Imagine that. First pitch, a strike, and the throw sails all the way to second baseman Brandon Smith. Throws one in high to Jeremy Johnson. Fortunately, that's not ball 1.
You know, Kevin, when you can't even throw the ball back, because the ball constantly wet and everything else, why are you playing this? I hate to harp on it, but this is really ridiculous at this point in time.
First and second, these umpires show no willingness to call game off at all. That pitch inside almost hit Keeler. Fortunately, it was a curveball with enough snap to miss him. It's 1-1. Bobby Odell walked the lead off this inning. William Keeler retired 6-4-3 double play. Eric Mathis doubled. Chris Mader singled him in. Ryan Lesniak walked. Chris Coker walked. Michael Kelly singled. Shane Nash reached third. A couple batters later, here's Keeler. That's it outside, 2-1. Laird reached on an error by third baseman Ryan Boone, and Odell, 10th man to hit, singling, so he's reached base twice in the inning. 2-1 pitch. On the way, and there's a swing and a bouncer, base hit into right field. Around third is Michael Laird. The throw is going to be cut off, and it's now 16-8, and the Rams have given back all 7 runs that they scored bottom half of the 4th inning. So this game went from blowout, close affair, to blowout in the course of 1 inning.
And Jeremy Johnson obviously having trouble with the conditions. Of course, each pitcher that comes in has to be experiencing more and more trouble. Ball, every time it's getting wet. Look out now, even the bases are soaked, and actually literally puddles starting to form on them.
First pitch outside to Eric Mathis. Jeremy Johnson is about to accomplish a very rare feat. They brought him in with 2 outs, get 1 hitter out. He's about to go through the entire lineup without getting that 3rd out. The 9th man to hit has come in. Swinging a bouncer, that's a foul ball. Drudging through the mud is Stephen Hires down the right field line. It's 1-1.
Umpires have decided that no matter what, they're going to get a legitimate game and now a legal game. They still take another hour to get through the 5th inning.
Not about it. The word sloppy describes in all aspects. 1-1 pitch is bounced towards Stephen Hires. Bobbles it on the backhand, goes to Johnson, and safe. And another run comes across for the Shiloh Generals. Jeremy Johnson stretching to try to get to first base in time to win the foot race with Eric Mathis to the bag. Mathis will be safe. Another run, 4. No run will score.
It's kind of fortunate. In fact, the runner appears to be hurt on the play. Jeremy Johnson almost gets hurt on the play. As the field is just treacherous now.
I look everywhere. I thought one of them crossed the plate on the play.
They have on every other play, so they might as well have done on that one, too.
Kind of following the pattern here. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Jeremy Johnson, who came in to get one hitter out, has decided he's going to do it the long way. Chris Vader was the man that Jeremy Johnson was put in to get out. Maybe the second time around, Johnson can get this guy. Stretch. The first pitch to Vader. Outside, ball 1. Perhaps not. Robbie Odell, the runner at third. William Keeler at second. Eric Mathis, the runner at first. 7 runs across for the Generals in this inning. 7 hits.
Coach Brassfield looks down at the bullpen. The ball is loose. How can you get loose on a night like tonight?
Awesome. Stretch. 1-0 pitch. Inside 2-0. I think Brassfield maybe looked longingly down at that bullpen, wondering if he could come in. Maybe he could throw strike.
They couldn't do any worse than anyone else has tonight.
2-0 pitch. That's right through there. Strike 1. It's been a small strike zone throughout the evening, but it's been a consistent small strike zone. That's been the benefit that's made this game drag on. Understatement. Pitch outside, 3-1. Jeremy Johnson 1 pitch away from walking in another run.
What, 10th? Or have we gone past it? So it'll be the 10th pretty fast. Plus hit by bat.
3-1 pitch. Inside, ball 4. And Jeremy Johnson couldn't retire Chris Vader the first time or the second time. 17-8, and very close to having this be a 5-inning ball game. 8 have come across. Remember, the 10-run mercy rule be in effect. Jeremy Johnson is out of there. Johnson's line, 10 batters faced, 10 batters reaped. Newton Rams will bring on what will be their 6th pitcher of the night. And while they do, let's take a break and see if our executive producer, Brian Crispin, can throw a strike or two. Newton Ram Baseball, brought to you by the folks at East Metro Communications. They're doing the overtime tonight. They're your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
And welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field as the walk and hit parade continues, and game into the hours of the night. Continues on a field that is now full of quick dry instead of dirt or sand. And here to tell you about the Rams pitcher, the 47th of the night, is Kevin Holden.
47 of everything tonight except strikes thrown. 6th pitcher of the evening is Stahl. But Richard Stahl can come up with Jeremy Johnson. No innings pitched. He faced 10 batters, and here's how it went. A single to Vader, walks to Lesniak and Coker, a single to Kelly, a triple to Shane Nash, an error on third baseman Ryan Moon against Michael Laird, a single by Odell, a single by Keeler, a single by Mathis, and a walk to Chris Vader. Joe Brassfield figured if you face the man twice, you can't get him out. Got out, no one in between. That's the end of matters here. Ryan Lesniak hits for second time in this inning, 5th in the game, pokes one foul down the right side. 1-1.
Thank you very much for swinging it first offering. And the hitter suddenly behind in the count, 0-1. First time in 3 hours that has happened.
Boyd sitting up outside. Here's the 1 pitch. It is low. Ball 1. I think Waffle House will sponsor our post-game show. Right, everybody.
It'll probably be time for lunch by then.
Runners take their lead. 1-1 pitch. Boyd has to stand up to catch that one. 2-1.
Kevin, the 10-run rule won't go into effect until after the Rams hit, so
Leave it to my color man to bring up that sack. Stretch. The 2-1 pitch up high, ball 3. Home plate has disappeared, ladies and gentlemen. John P. Sawyer Field, if anyone finds it, please return it to its right spot, right in front of Lane Floyd. Tell the Newton Ram pitchers it's there.
Kevin, I'm arm loosened up. I'm going to go put an end to this minute.
3-1 pitch. Right to inside corner. This is the 12th man to bat since 2 have been out in this inning.
Four scoring 7 years ago.
The payoff pitch is due. Stahl, a long look at second base. The 3-2 pitch. You called it. Outside, ball 4. Another run has been walked in. That run is charged to Jeremy Johnson. That is the 11th base on balls here for Newton Ram pitching. Lefty Richard Stahl following in the footsteps. Those who have gone before him, all the wrong ways.
Unbelievable, Kevin. It's just hard to believe that stuff suddenly silent.
A warm up. 9 have come across for Shiloh in this inning. 18 runs, 19 hits for Shiloh. 8 runs, 4 hits for the Newton Rams. Long, Poppy.
19 hits, 10 bases on balls, 1 hit by a pitcher, 1 reach on an error, 31 base runs.
Strike called inside corner, not to be picky with, but Stahl did walk number 11.
Well, that was 11. 32 base runs.
Understand the big difference between 31 and 32 base runners allowed here. Stretch. A 1 pitch. Right to. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the scoreboard. It appears to be, at least what feels like a first, 0-2 on Chris Coker.
That would be a mistake.
Coker struck out a few days back in the first inning. Singled in the third, walked to the fourth, earlier on here in the fifth. 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1. Eric Matthews, runner at third, Chris Bader at second, and Ryan Lesniak first. 1-2. Curveball. Missing outside. Evens the count at 2-2. Rams have another pitcher warming up. Then. That is down there a right-hander.
They had on the left.
Did the scorekeeper Olivia make the team today?
They're going to put her
Maybe Olivia down there warming up. Stretch. 2-2 pitch. That one bounced foul first base side as Coker stays alive. 2-2.
407th hitter of the night to a 3-ball count.
The 5th inning, and Shiloh sending the number 8 man up there for the 5th time. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third, only a 1 spot in the 4th. Rams escaping there. 9 so far in the 5th.
And for pitch count, they're using count.
2-2 in the dirt with a fastball. Count is run full, 3-2. So Richard Stahl, not wanting to disappoint, continues tradition as we run to a 3-ball count.
Probably one hitter somewhere tonight didn't have a 3-ball count on them, but I can't remember which one it was.
Somewhere lost, buried in the past. Runners again will take their lead. Lane Floyd flashes the signal to throw a strike, please. He didn't. It's ball 4. Another run has come across. The 3rd consecutive run that has been walked in. Richard Stahl walks 2 men here. He is now, with the staff, has now walked 12. Joe Brassfield out to the mound. Let me have the ball, son. Richard Stahl is out of here after facing 2 men and walking them both. The Rams will bring in 3, 4, 5, 6. Their 7th pitcher of the night. It's Bradley Dobbs, and maybe he has a couple of strikes in his arm. We'll check it out right after this. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, brought to you by East Metro Communications. They keep the walks down, and they're your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
time you take a
Welcome back to John Sawyer Field in Snellville, Georgia. We hope you really like this place because you have certainly heard a lot of action from here, and that's just in the 5th inning. 10 runs have come across for the Shiloh Generals. Rams on their 7th pitcher of the night. Chris Bridges, what kind of slant can you throw on this?
Not much, unfortunately. I noticed Coach Braswell when he walked up to the pitcher's mound that last time. He had looked up. I can't believe this. I've never seen anything like this. I know he's never seen anything like it. I know I've never seen anything like this. It's unbelievable. It's the entire game, really, from the beginning.
Michael Kelly, step up. He singled in the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and earlier on here in the 5th, 4 base hits for that young man. But he hasn't drawn a base on balls, which has been rare company tonight. Bradley Dobbs and a swing and a miss by Kelly at the first pitch, 0-1. It looked like Kelly was swinging just to swing at that pitch. That was inside. Runners take their lead. Dobbs the wind and the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 1-1 pitch. It's bounced, and Bradley Dobbs will make the play. The throw to first base. Higher steps on the bag. The only ground ball to the pitcher ever to receive a standing ovation at a high school baseball game. The Shiloh Generals have sent 16 men to the plate. They push across 10 runs on 7 base hits. We'll not try to count the walks. We don't want to be here until Monday. 3 men left on base for the Shiloh Generals. We have played 4.5. Shiloh 19, Newton 8. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, brought to you in part by East Metro Communications. They've been a cellular agent for 10 years. That makes them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agencies.
The best.
Welcome back to John B. Sawyer Field at Snellville High School. Or South Gwinnett High School, Snellville, Georgia. I should know that by now. We've been here that long. This is baseball's version of Rock Around the Clock. 19-8. Shiloh leads the Newton Rams. In the 5th inning, Brandon Smith, Jarvis Johnson, Ryan Moon. 9-1-2 due up against Michael Laird. Chris Bridges. We finally bring that top of the 5th inning to a close. I want to talk about a nightmare. That's one that never seemed to end.
When you look at it, the inning in itself was unbelievable because it seemed as if Newton had gained perhaps momentum in the game half inning before. Starting the inning out with a double play, you really thought things were going to start turning their way. Boy, did they quickly go in the other way. Although quickly, kind of a strange word to use about that inning.
There's nothing quick there at all, except the quick drive that was put down after the inning. All 1 to Brandon Smith, and now all 2 down low. Our home plate umpire apparently with no plans for Sunday. Smith, not an official at bat for him tonight. 2 walks, 2 runs scored. The 2-0 pitch is on the way. Also low. Ball 3 of the Rams scored 2. Got some good news from the folks up here. We'll be here for probably another couple of innings. Take a break in case anybody needs to go home and get a change of clothes. Michael Laird, the wind, the 3-0 pitch. There's a strike called on the outside corner. Looked like a curveball. The general pitcher, it's 3-1.
Well, no, you and I will probably both be going into work Monday morning right after the game. So.
3-1 pitch. That's a strike on the inside corner. Make it 3-2. Newton Rams with 8 runs on 4 hits. They had a 7-run 4th inning. Got all excited, and then Rams decided to give back up 10 more runs. There's a swing and a liner, and the left fielder, Eric Mathis, with a tremendous catch. As he catches that one at the shoelaces, diving for it in left field. Brandon Smith gave that ball a ride, but catch by Mathis.
Brandon's been hitting the ball well lately. That would have been a base hit, I think, 9 out of 10 times. And amazingly, with the field the way it is out there in the outfield, surprisingly, that catch is played by Shiloh.
Now Jarvis Johnson. Go for 1. First pitch to him, it's down low. Ball, no strikes. Walked twice already. Also struck out 1. Strike called. That one caught the outside corner, making a ball and a strike. Rams going through 4 pitchers that last inning. Comes the 1-1 pitch to Johnson. It's inside, ball 2. Newton Rams having to face 14 batters to get the third out. They had a double play in that inning, believe it or not, the top half of the 5th inning. 14 batters later, got out number 3 on a tapper after Bradley Dobbs. 2-1 is line, base hit, left field. That one's headed for the corner. Here goes Jarvis Johnson around first. Pardon me, he heads for second base. He is in with a stand-up double. And a runner on here for the Newton Rams, and a couple of runs for them, and this game will continue on. The 10-run mercy rule would not take effect. Chris Bridges, as the Rams have used 7 pitchers, we may have to use 3 play-by-play guys. Are you ready? Because I'm starting to lose my voice here.
This is the ultimate when it comes to long baseball games. Now, you should think the league games that we see during the summer drag on forever. This one rivals anything I've ever seen at the league level.
Amazing part is that's only the 5th hit for Rams. Strike 1 to Moon. He is 0 for 2. Ryan walking a run support. Brassfield going through a set of 6, down 11 in the 5th inning. 1 out and a runner in second. 9 pitch gets away, but Johnson stay put. Down at 1-1. Rams cannot come back in this game, as we mentioned. Have a 1-game championship game to end this tournament. Great for going. That will follow this affair.
So that the Shiloh Generals turned to the run scoring team here today. This has really been probably one of the most productive days they've had in their program in a while. They scored a lot of runs in their first man today way earlier. Now they're really piling it on here.
Approaching 30 runs today. There's a swing and a bouncer towards the third baseman. Makes the play cleanly, throws in the dirt, but a good scoop from Kelly out number 2, moving Jarvis Johnson over. 2 down, runner at third, and the last hope. Rams at Easter Day. Easter Day can do here.
The thing you've got to remember about Easter Day, he has power. He can easily send one out of here, and if he does, that would be the way we can run rule, and on we would go through the night.
You have to wonder how this is going to affect the Newton Rams in their brief off time here in Monday night. How they will approach Monday night's game against Shiloh, having to go through everybody. This pitching staff, 7 different pitchers used by the Rams tonight, and all the momentum they gained Thursday and Friday taken away here in this 19th fair. They're away an hour late and already 3 hours along into this pitch to Easter Day. He takes strike 1, a curveball that caught the outside corner. They're able to throw that curveball for strike.
Like you said, in theory, Newton came into this game here tonight, their first game of the day, in position to win this thing. Now, suddenly Shiloh has been the one that's really gained control of everything.
Today, swing, taps 1 foul, third base side. The whole 0-2, the Rams may be down to their last strike here tonight. Well, the one fortunate thing, the Rams, as we mentioned, is the fact that they will get the chance to come back. They were an undefeated team, so now both teams will have 1 loss and they'll play again Monday. Right up here at John Sawyer, Melville at Southside High School. Of course, we're live. 0-2, swung on and missed. And Chris Coker, with his arms up in the air as Shiloh has finally nailed this down. And a lot of folks can go home and now get a little bit of rest as the endless marathon has come to a close. For the Newton Rams, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. Shiloh, by the 10-run mercy rule, has defeated the Newton Rams by a score of 19-8. I want to talk about a wild affair from John B. Sawyer Field. This was as wild as they get. Rams come out losers 19-8. We'll be back to wrap things up, and I do mean quickly. You're on WGFS, AM 1430. Generals in this 8 Quad A region tournament game. The final score 9-8. Kevin Holden here. We've even gone through Bill Dolan. He's out of here. Chris Bridges in here with us. Chris, one of those affairs where for a while it felt really bad for the Rams. They were down. They were out. They scored 7 runs. Get back into this game and make it a close ball game. But in the end, it was the Rams pitching that absolutely collapsed in the worst way possible. 5th inning when they gave up the 10 spot.
Well, I just really have to think that the weather played a big part of that. I mean, we saw guys time they pitch, not be able to get a guy out. How many times have we seen that? I mean, Jeremy Johnson, who's been one of the top pitchers for Newton all year, he goes up there and he has trouble even getting over the plate. So you have to really say the weather had a lot to do with it. The rain it's not been a heavy rain, but it's been a steady mist just about from the time the game has started. And when you go over 3 hours, the ball gets wet, the field gets wet, and it really looked like the pitchers just, they were at a loss of what they were doing, what they normally did, but it didn't work tonight because the ball was so wet, so heavy, and that really changed everything. The ball probably felt twice as heavy as it normally does. That can really throw you off. You got to start making up, compensating for the baseball being that way. Start thinking about that rather than trying to throw it over the plate. That was very evident that tonight.
Final totals for Shiloh: 19 runs, 19 hits, 3 errors. They left 11 men on base in 5 innings, folks. This could have been a lot worse than only 19-8. Tom Young went 3 innings, ended up getting the win in this affair. Jonathan Craig and Michael Laird also pitching generals. This one for the Rams, he runs on 5 hits. He committed 1 error and left 7 on base. 7 men pitched for the Newton Rams, and not really one of them effective. Joey Smith probably the best of the bunch in 2 2/3 innings, giving up a couple of runs, walking 2 and striking out 1, and that total of only 2 walks. Impressive in comparison to what the Rams had so much trouble with tonight. They passed 12 men in 5 innings. That is definitely one way when you give up 19 hits and 12 walks. That's a surefire way to go down to a big loss.
That's right. Nothing really went right for Newton all night. They did have the one big inning that looked like they were going to get back in the game, but it went downhill in a hurry after that. They had the big inning. They came out, got the double play, and you thought, hey, Newton could possibly be back in this. They fought so long to get back in it, and give them credit for getting back in the game. Boy, it really came apart after that. It seemed like once they got going, nothing they did, no matter who they put out there. We see Dustin Peck, I believe, walking out now. Hard to believe he started this game way back whenever it was the game started. So we were running late anyway, and this has just been one of those nights that you and I will probably be talking about 5, 6 years from now. You remember that night at South Gwinnett when we sat up there forever and we didn't get home. So.
It may be years from now when we're getting out of this press box here.
Yeah,
We were
true.
worried. Had no idea when this game would finally finish up. The folks here at South Gwinnett High School want to talk about torture for them. Their Comets get knocked out by the Shiloh Generals, and then the folks have to stick around till 11 o'clock at night as they have to sit and watch a game in which they really have no stake. Thank you very much. A game in which the Rams go down to the Shiloh Generals 19-8. I'm going to kind of skip over the WGFS player of the game thing tonight. Let me throw in this word on that front, because Bradley Dobbs deserves certainly a mention, and if you want to look at a bright spot in all of this, Bradley Dobbs has come on so strong and in tournament play, responding so well to the pressure. Dobbs hitting a 2-run homer, and Chris, don't forget, when no one else on this entire team could get anybody out, he got an out, which was huge after 14 straight reach. So not only did Dobbs do it at the plate, he got the 3rd out that no one else on this team could get tonight.
Bradley Dobbs has been the man who has stepped up for Newton during this tournament. So just see him come on, he's going to be a player of the year. So experience. This is a big time here that's bigger than this, and it won't do anything but help him here.
We will see you Monday with what will be the championship game of this region tournament. Rams win Monday, go to the region championship and on to the state. They lose Monday. 1997 season, as crazy as it has been, would draw to a close. That is pressure. It will come down to one game, so you'll be here, Chris Bridges, so will we. And for our executive producer, Brian Crispin, and a cast of thousands, most of whom went home, this is Kevin Holden reporting. John B. Sawyer Field, final Shiloh 19-8. Good night, everyone.